Great here, back with another stream. Got me and Batman here in
Yo.
the new year. What's going on? Yeah, hope you guys had a good holiday. Hope it was safe and sound with the fams and the family, with the friends and family. Good to be back. We definitely want to, sprint into the new year with some consistency for you folks. We got a video in the works that we're collabing on as well. I dropped Juro versus Ishiki. If you guys haven't seen that, check that out. Seems like you guys seem to enjoy it so far. Feel free to ask about that if you haven't already. By the way, make sure to hit the like button. It's greatly appreciated. The more likes, the better. But yeah, we're rolling into this year with some consistency. Definitely, again, I said in the last stream, a lot of fault on my part not being as consistent as I could have. But we are back in action.
We're here, man.
Let's see
We're
what you,
here.
yes, sir. And whatever questions you may have, feel free to ask. There's some pre-established questions that I have, but we'll answer those while you guys come on in and ask what you want to ask. But let's see here. So I had some questions here that were asked. Let's see real quick.
Let's get it.
Also, shout out to Six. I think he's live right now too. W6.
Nice. He hasn't been live in a
Let's
bit,
see.
at least from my knowledge. But...
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Six. He's doing Kashimo slander. JJK. W. What would it mean for the nature of our reality should the many worlds interpretation of quantum physics hold? That's a pretty loaded question. I'll simply say, when it comes to our current interpretation of quantum physics, it just shows our limited knowledge on how reality functions. So while we are trying to grasp, an understanding of our reality, clearly the many, because there's more than one interpretation of quantum physics, and there are different explanations as to why, whether it's particles or the smallest units of matter in our existence function. It just goes to show we don't really know that much yet.
yeah.
And I think as time progresses, historically, humans, through the use of technology and through the use of discourse, we tend to learn more and more, or at least we think we do. I think currently it just shows that the nature of our reality is very complex. It's very complex and not understood fully. I
Yeah.
think we're far from understanding
There's
it.
just certain areas in science fields that are like just extremely complex and a lot of
Yeah,
contentious value, and just it's so complex to the point where, like you said, like there's just you literally have professionals arguing amongst each other and like in discussions or and whether or not if this is actually right or this is right and how it's explained and going about and what's the actual correct theory and so on and so forth. It's very very complex. It kind of a way to simplify it, is like everyone has their science theories of like how dinosaurs went extinct, and there's different branches of evidence, whether if it was a meteorite or if it was this or that. For
yeah.
probability of all the evidence factors, it has the highest percentage leaning more towards the meteorite for the dinosaurs
Yeah.
extinction. But regardless, point being said, is there's different things, right? Different branches of evidence and different conclusions, and it's the same exact thing for that particular field in science. Some science fields are very straightforward. It's just very black and white,
Yeah.
But then there's some where it's just it's a whole fucking thing, man. And it really just
Yeah.
depends. So
Yeah, it definitely depends. Basically, when it comes to the field of science, there's only so much we can get to be black and white from our understanding. Like Batman said, when you start to triangulate more detailed, or rather more complex or smaller details of our reality, that's when it becomes more theoretical,
yeah,
less verifiable, less experimental, or rather more challenging to conduct experiments for a possible hypothesis due to whatever it may be, limitations of technology and or current knowledge of our reality. Um, it was in again, as human history has shown, as time goes on, as technology and knowledge increases and theories are verified, then we can make new breakthroughs. But quantum physics
yeah,
is fairly new in human history, and simply put,
yeah.
the vast majority of that field is theoretical, and yeah, like very disputed.
Another
That's gonna
example is
yeah,
astronomy. Like that one's very, very
yeah,
complex, and it really boils down to, like you said, of how advanced we are in technology, and
yeah,
the more things we discover, the more things change, and and so on and so forth. So, yeah,
yeah, exactly. I think that a field like that's gonna take quite some time to at least make significant uh change on or significant strides in as far as what we know or what we think we know and what's true. So, so the next question, let you guys come in, is how would you address? So these are more deeper questions. Shout out to Furton Fletcher. He's the one that asked these questions, by the way. How would you address the liar's paradox? Perhaps a deflationary account of truth. So for you guys that don't know what liar's paradox is, it's more so a paradox that has to do with language. So an
yeah,
example is this sentence is false. The reason that's an example is this creates a contradiction because if it's true, it must be false. If it is false, then it must be true. Basically, leading to this logical loop where you have this self contradictory statement. It's more of a language problem, and it kind of shows the limitations of language. Almost like an oxymoron, essentially. Um, so as far as how would I address it? Well, simply put, you'd have to presuppose what is the truth or what should be prioritized as the truth. So if you were to ask, for example, this sentence is false, right? Then you would have to ask, well, is this, well, how do I word this? It's kind of complicated. So is this sentence being false true? Then you would say yes. Now, if the sentence, the statement is the sentence is false. If you're asking, is the sentence being false, that would be false. It's pretty complicated. I think simply put, you got to come to an understanding with whoever you're discussing what's considered true, what's considered not. Some people, to try to beat this, say that there is a third truth value, so true, false, and neutral. Basically trying to eliminate the non-contradiction or the contradiction rather by saying there's a third option. Um, it's definitely a paradox that I'm sure philosophers still try to work around. But yeah, that would be my understanding of it, or what
basically
I would
the
say about it.
English version vomit of fucking calculus, or fucking
Yeah,
math nonsense and whatnot. This is extremely weird, you know what I mean? But a lot of, complexities, but it does make sense, but at the same time it's like what the fuck, like what is this? Like,
yeah, it's
so like how like they have them
it's
rules in math where it's just like that's just the rule, or this is what what it is, and it's just like extremely weird, with the contradiction or whatever, and so on and so, and then but that's just it at face value. So yeah, it's
yeah,
weird, but
it's a question that higher levels of, I guess, higher level scholars will try to debate out to try to understand what the truth is. And again, with these type of paradoxes, the truth isn't always black and white. It's not always 1 + 1 = 2.
yeah, no.
Um, I guess it depends on what's presupposed as to what the truth is. So,
If that was the case, shit,
um,
fucking life would be very straightforward.
yeah,
So
and even when it comes to, yeah, semantics, language, all these questions show that humans are very limited on what we know, what we could do, and human knowledge is always not only being gained but evolving as well. As human history has shown, we've been wrong before, and as time progressed, we learned that we were wrong about something, and we evolved
yeah,
intellectually. So, but yeah, folks, feel free to ask any questions at all,
is there?
any questions. While you guys do that, this year will be a great year for media. That's why you see the title of the stream as it is. Got some great TV media coming out. Obviously, we got The Boys, Invincible, Daredevil. It's gonna be peak media. I do believe all of them being released around the same time will cause each of these platforms to try to put out the most peak content possible because they are in competition with each other. They do want the number one title of the when they're all being released. Same thing with movies. Great movies coming out. Doomsday. Been seeing a lot of rumors as to what it will entail of. We've been getting snippets of trailers as well. That should be interesting. A lot of rumors saying Hugh Jackman and Tobey Maguire they will be together on screen. That will be interesting. We got another trailer with Thor. He's like begging the All Father to give him power, almost as if the trailer's insinuating that Doctor Doom is a hell of a villain if it's causing Thor to, to really be vulnerable and really ask for help. Not even against Thanos did he really do that. So that's very telling. That shows the caliber of villain that Doctor Doom is. That's going to be very, very interesting to see. Um, yeah, this year it's going to be quite the year, I do believe so. I think it's going to be quite the year for media. Um, but yeah, that's something that I'm definitely looking forward to. 2025's obviously, as we know now, in the books. It was a good year, uh, but I do think 2026 has a lot in store for sure. So, but yeah, folks, any questions you may have, feel free, please. Any questions at all? It can be about, we like to switch it up and mix it up here. It can be anime, IRL, sports, conspiracies, even physics, like this, Furton Fletcher asked. Shout out to Furton. Whatever you guys want to ask, please feel free.
Speaking
Anything at
of
all. We like,
anime, on
yeah.
Twitter there is a picture. It's from Daily Naruto, where he said, "Which Naruto character abilities would you like in real life?" I posted a pic in your DMJ, and then on a YouTube
Oh, let
poll,
me check it out.
what's it called? It was which duo has the most brains, and it's between Lord Second and Madara on the team, Professor the
Oh,
Third Hokage and Orochimaru, Yellow Flash and Shikaku, or Copy Ninja and Itachi. I thought that was pretty cool to think
oh,
about.
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
these are.
two different things.
So the first one,
Yeah,
yeah, which Naruto character abilities would you want in real life? When it comes to the real world, where
it's a
clearly
whole other
our
conversation. Yeah, it's a
priorities,
different thinking process.
yeah, different thinking process. It's not who exactly to become the most powerful, as that's not really relevant in our reality.
Yeah, no, no.
I think it would be coming down to what's more practical, the most practical in our reality anyway. I'd probably say
Gara's sand would be
Shadow Clone.
crazy. I'm not gonna lie
That'd be
though,
very useful.
because
Yeah, that'd be very
like
useful.
like automatically protects you, like, and like obviously we're looking at, like, we're going based off what is being presented in that picture. So meaning, I guess
Yeah.
it would be just as fast as what it was in Naruto, right? Which is pretty fucking fast. Like,
Yeah, the sand would be useful.
um,
I'd probably say in terms of what I could accomplish success-wise in our reality, probably the Shadow Clone Jutsu I could learn
facts.
at a faster rate. So I made 1,000, I'd learn 1,000 times faster. Uh, you just become a genius above geniuses in our world with that kind of ability.
Yeah.
I'd probably say that one. Another one that would probably be useful, maybe something like the Flying Raijin, would be very practical to get around.
Yeah.
Very practical. Then and again, the more like power-based uh,
And we're
battle
obviously
advantageous
disregarding
abilities.
chakra because, like, I
Yeah,
guess you just automatically presuppose, all right, like, you just don't need chakra now, you know what I mean? So,
yeah,
fucking,
exactly.
so, like, because obviously chakra would dictate how many times you can spam these techniques and the whole nine, that's a whole other can of worms. And for humanity, there's no way to know what we're capable of, right, in real life.
Yeah,
So yeah, we're just going solely based on the abilities. Like, at the end of the day, like, if I'm not being selfish, 'cause I think that's important, right? Are you being selfish for your own survival and means, or is it like
yeah,
for everything that you care about, right, inherently? So if it's like for everything you care about inherently, so whether if it's you and other people you love, whatever, blah blah, your friends, ultimately,
yeah,
I would go with the Shadow Clone Jutsu, because not only is that good for you, again, like you said, like for self development, like you could be able to do things like things that would take hundreds of years of experience. You could literally master that shit like in a day or a week. You know what I mean? Which is
right,
insane.
yeah,
Like, that's pretty fucking crazy. So the learning factor is ridiculous. You could basically, literally now actually have the possibility to become Batman in real life if you fucking wanted to. You could learn every fucking martial art, the whole nine. Know all the fucking degrees that he has, or psychology, criminology, you fucking name it. You know what I mean? Like, you could literally try to actually dead ass become Bat. Like, that's one thing people always had discussions about. Like, is Batman possible, or can that be realistic? And no, technically, because like you just don't have the time, right? You don't have the time to achieve the perfection form he acquired mentally and physically, you know? And then obviously disregarding the physical realm of things, because that's a bunch of bullshit. Like, no human on Earth can kick through fucking trees and stone and do all these crazy shit that Batman can do. Like, that's the fiction element of it. But if we're
it's like a little godlike.
Yeah, literally. If we're taking to, like, you know, the realism aspects of it, which, like, we at least have seen in, like, the movie theaters, right? Like, of Christian Bale's, that was very realistic version of Batman. Even Robert Pattinson, realism Batman. The only really comic accurate version we ever got was Ben Affleck, right? Like, he was doing some crazy shit. Yeah. His Batman was more on the comic side of things.
Definitely comic, yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
But point being said is obviously for us, you know, that's what you got. So, like, again, like, that would be awesome for that. You could literally, the sky's the limit, right? You could acquire whatever levels amount of intelligence of things you want to learn, fighting, intellect, whatever it is, right? You can develop it. And most importantly, you can also be very hard to fuck with and find. Like, imagine, like, there's like a fucking manhunt from you, right? On the FBI or some shit. And you literally just got clones everywhere. like, what do you do? You know what I mean? Like, and if we're going off the picture, you guys, I don't know if he showed it or not, but it's like basically Naruto with thousands of clones. And I think Kid Naruto could do, like, it was either 1,000 or 2,000 clones at most at that point in time.
Kid.
Yep.
Yeah.
So meaning there'll be 1,000 or 2,000 of you basically whenever you want to do it, right? And that's a big deal because you can literally have an army whenever you deem it, so you can fuck up anybody basically, right? Unless you're going against like a military, then you're kind of fucked because they have way more people than 1,000 or 2,000. But you get what I'm saying, right? You know what I mean? You could basically do things where you're hard to get to, or if you want to like have a shadow clone with each one of your loved ones to try to look out for them or help them, you know. There's a lot of cool shit you can do, right? It's a lot of good,
very practical,
convenient, very, very fucking practical. If I'm going like on the selfish scheme of things, right? Like, let's say, fuck it, like I don't, you know, really care for any loved ones. I'm just more for myself and survival and so on and so forth. Then, like, I guess I would go with Gara Sandshield. Like really, like, think about it. Like,
you'd be like
you know,
invincible.
Like, actually, now thinking about it, the only thing that could still fuck you up though is like diseases or things you breathe in though, like gas, any type of airborne virus. Yeah. So actually, that would be the downfall. So actually, you know what? Nah, I'd say fucking I say hit on.
You're literally immortal.
Yeah, right. Yeah. And here's the catch: like, you got to kill people though to keep that immortality. But I'll just kill criminals or like evil people. You know what I mean? Like, you know. Now, if I don't want to be killing people, then Tsunade's ability. I think that's pretty clutch. Just to like, you can't die, right? You know what I mean? You just heal everything. For the most part, fucking, you know. So I don't know. I think that's pretty dope. You know, but yeah, it's I would say Tsunade for selfish means, or I guess flying Raijin. But see, the problem with flying Raijin is if you're caught off guard, you're not going to really have time to use it. You know what I mean? Like he was a sensory, he's a ninja. You know, like it's different. You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. Like I'm thinking more of like let's say someone out of nowhere comes and shoots me, right, or stabs me. If I'm hit on, I'm fine. I ain't dying. I'm gonna feel the pain. You know. Now, but for Tsunade, she also has to activate it. So that's what I'm saying. Like. Yeah. At the end of the day, I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to kill some people. I don't want. If I'm not trying to die, I'm about to be willing to kill some motherfuckers. To have immortality at all times, that's a big fucking deal. Like, to where you don't have to nearly activate your jutsu, that's pretty fucking dope. You know.
Vandal Savage, literally.
Yeah, literally. That's what I'm saying. Like what you guys got? Like we always give hit on like shit for being like the slowest and the weakest, whatnot. But I will say this conventionally, like, you know, like practically wise, he did have like the most convenient ability in Naruto because that shit is always on. It is always on.
It's like, you know, just his part of his
like every other ninja has to use nerve transmission and actually think and then utilize whatever ability or chakra, right? Him, he don't gotta do it. It's just on, you know. So, like basically, imagine if Hidon was like a high tier shinobi, like if he actually wasn't, you know, low Kage level,
he'd be unbeatable.
Bro, he'd be unbeatable. you're
Yeah.
fucked. You could never
Like,
catch him off
Minato
guard.
speed or some shit.
Yeah, like bro,
Yeah.
imagine if he was Minato scaling, but with hit-ons immortality. Like,
Oh,
that's... Yeah, like...
It'd be a
like,
whole different conversation.
like, honestly, that'd be a really cool video topic, not thinking about it. Like, fucking... Like, what if, like, if you have, like... what character would be the most powerful with hit-ons immortality, you know? Or what character would be the strongest with, like, Tsunade's? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you basically, like... Try to find a character within Naruto and then complement it with an ability, like a random ability or whatever. That'd be kind of dope to think about. I don't think nobody's actually done that. But for Hit-On, like, for who do you think would be best with that? With Hit-On's immortality? So I'm sure we're fucking talking about this shit anyways.
His immortality, probably someone with really. Oh, you know who would be really good with it? Someone with a lot of physical, who's like a physical prowess style fighter, like fucking Guy or some shit.
That's what I'm
Just can't hurt
saying.
him at
Like
all.
8th Gate Guy. Like he'd be the strongest.
He literally would be unstoppable. Be unstoppable. He probably would beat Jubidara if he can't die. It just keeps fucking coming at him.
And and think of it this way, guys. Like fucking like Hit-On is immortal. Like he can't. You know what I mean? Like, and he has to have like some type of internal regeneration. Like he doesn't have like regeneration like Tsunade or Hashirama, because we obviously saw that when Shikamaru blew him the fuck up. But he does have internal regeneration because he's getting stabbed, and he even remarked in the manga and the anime where he's like, "Oh, my organs, right, or my heart, or whatever." Like he was like, "Yeah, can you stop moving your weapons inside? Like you're fucking up my organs and shit." So like, so he has to be able to heal that, because if he couldn't, he wouldn't be able to move. Because if his heart just got stabbed, your heart pumps blood, right? All that shit, whatever. Like, you need your heart and brain in order to walk and move, you know, and do things physically.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what I'm saying. Like, he has to, even though it's not explicitly stated, but you could easily be like, oh, argument, ignorance, whatever, blah, blah, the whole nine. So, like, you know what I mean? Like, logically speaking, he has to be able to heal. Because that wouldn't make sense. Unless, I guess his immortality negates the physical functions that the body suffers from, like the down effects. It could be that too,
right?
You know, so maybe he doesn't necessarily need the heart to be pumping, you know, or the brain, you know, to be perfectly intact. Like he could still just somehow have the same benefits, you know. Like, I don't fucking know. Like that area was never really explained with Hit-On's immortality.
Yeah, it's a gray area.
Yeah, it's a very gray area. But point being said is like that's fucking crucial, because like even if he's suffering damages, like when Guy went 8th Gate. Like it was like his heart was going on fire, right? And then like all his bones are shattering, you know. So it's like then it comes to a point where, like, yeah, you have all that damage, but you're at least not dead. But like scientifically speaking, Jay, can you even move if your bones are It's just probably. I don't know if you can move or not. Like I know it's extremely painful to move with broken bones, especially shattered bones. But I don't know if that determines like your movement. I don't think it does. I think it's your everything entire, like muscle, you know. So like, and let's be real, like fucking ninjas, they deal with pain. You know what I mean? Like they can deal
much
with
better
pain.
than humans do.
Yeah, much better. So like,
sure.
so it's not like it doesn't matter for the IRL scheme of things. Like we're talking about Guy and a motherfucker that literally puts his body through hell, and then with the gates you go through unfat. You know what I mean? Like just like. So much fucking pain.
Excruciating pain.
Yeah. So, like, I don't think that would really be a big deal. Like, yeah, he'll be in pain all the fucking time, but he won't be able to die, at least. Like, you know? Like shit.
Yeah,
fucking,
he would be alive.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, or, like, you could do, I'm trying to, who else? Like, besides Guy. Like, obviously, Guy would be the most powerful, like, scaling-wise, but, like, let's say if we try to pick someone that's not gonna have to suffer in fucking pain every day.
Probably like, honestly, someone like Itachi would be helpful. Maybe he just never gets ill. He would never get ill.
Yeah, he would never get ill. He can't be killed in conventional means. Yeah, so then like he could just continue to get stronger and stronger. Honestly, yeah, because you basically have Edo Itachi, but like the whole time.
Yeah, prime. Hopefully, he actually reaches his prime. He never gets sick.
Exactly.
That'd be very useful.
That'd be pretty dope too. Yeah.
Yeah, I was always curious about DB Cooper and Paul's dead conspiracy theories. Yeah, folks, feel free to ask about conspiracies too. Amino Tejikara might unironically be the most practical. Yeah, Sasuke's swapping ability would be would be pretty useful in real life. Certain uses.
Yeah, that wasn't in the picture
West.
though, but yeah, that would be fucking peak.
Yeah.
Like, cause that ability, like, besides flying Raijin, I would assume it is faster though than flying Raijin because it's 6 paths, you know. But what's it called?
Yeah.
But either way, like, yeah, it's like no one has ever outsped fucking that Rinnegan teleportation. Nobody. It's just instantaneous.
Yeah, that shit is
Like,
correct.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like
I
not even
thought,
Ishiki
like,
could do
even,
anything to it. Like he couldn't do
yeah, it
like
tricked him.
yeah, it pissed him
Yeah,
off. He couldn't counter that.
he even
Yeah.
admitted it. He's like, this is annoying. He even said
Yep.
that shit that it was
Yeah,
annoying.
like that was one thing.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah. So even like Barry
yeah, that's
Naruto technically, like he wouldn't be. But see the problem with like that Rinnegan teleportation shit, and same thing for Flying Raijin. Like yeah, you can't touch the guy, but for how long? You know what I mean? Because eventually, at some
yeah,
point, you got to use your physical stats, right? You know, or you just then you fatigue yourself and you have no chakra, and now you're fucked, right? Because you're
yeah,
gassing
true.
yourself out way more than that person. You know.
Yeah,
So,
facts.
yeah.
As for the smartest Naruto duo, it depends on what kind of smart you mean. Mario Toriyama probably the most book smart,
Oh
while
yeah, the
Kakashi
duo
is actually
shit.
the
Yeah, I
best
forgot.
strategic.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it
so
was Lord Second and Madara on a team. Then it was Third Hokage and
yeah,
Orochimaru, just to remind everybody. The next team was Yellow Flash, so Minato and Shikaku, Shikamaru's dad, and then it's Kakashi and Itachi. Who would have the
yeah.
most brains?
That is interesting. As far as pure IQ, it honestly would probably be Shikaku and the Yellow. As far as pure IQ, Shikaku and the Yellow Flash.
Yeah.
Shikaku is basically implied by Shikamaru to be smarter than himself. Minato, I believe, had the best book score ever in
Yeah,
the
he had the best
academy.
book, so like better than
Um,
Toby Rama. Yeah.
yeah, better than Toriyama, better than Itachi, better than anyone historically. So they'd
Like
probably be
don't get
the
me wrong, like Toby
smartest as far
Rama
as
created the exams, yeah, but obviously he would
yeah,
partake in it too. Like it doesn't make any sense for them not all to test their IQ, right? That doesn't make any sense. You know, like
yeah. So
yeah.
pure book smarts, probably those two. As far as like the best, I mean, honestly, what even
For
strategically,
overall
it'd be the
like
best too.
intelligence, like honestly, I would say like if I'm really thinking about it, like I would say yeah, actually yeah, Lord Second and Madara. Right? Because Lord Second created like all those crazy ass forbidden jutsus, right? Flying Raijin, Shadow Clone, you know, fucking like he created a lot. Edo Tensei, like that's ridiculous. Like to mess with fucking souls and shit.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
probably
like
have the most
yeah,
knowledge.
yeah,
Well,
knowledge, right?
Hiruzen has a lot of knowledge too, but
Yeah,
yeah,
like you know, definitely them
um,
because like Todorama has that, and then Madara, it's fucking Madara. He literally
yeah,
knows almost everything, like literally,
and the shit
bro.
over the
Like
world.
I don't think there's
Yeah,
I don't think there wasn't a single fucking jutsu he didn't know. Every time he saw something, he acknowledged it. You know,
he knew
like
what it was.
yeah,
Yeah,
like so that's what I'm saying. Like Madara literally, technically, like yeah, Hashirama and Madara like they just know everything, right? And then Tobirama, like he was over here creating things that like were ridiculous, you know. So like for like
yeah,
yeah, like knowledge wise, I'd say them, especially in like
probably them
yeah
overall.
creation. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
Yeah,
like Madara even figured out like it is just a theory, a hypothetical theory. But he even figured out how to potentially obtain the Rinnegan, the eye of a myth, a legend, the Sage's six pack. Like he tested it. He's like, all right, let me just fucking get a chunk of Hashirama's flesh, combine, you know,
yeah,
his whatever me, and based upon what Zetsu told me about things and whatnot. He just, you know, had a theory, did that, and boom, it worked. You know.
yeah.
So
I think yeah, it's as far as most knowledge, it's it's definitely between Lord Second and Madara and
yeah.
Hiruzen and Orochimaru, but yeah, Lord Second and Madara just historic like I guess intellectual feats to just have more. Obviously, it's stated Hiruzen knows all jutsu and Leaf, but Madara knows like
And
the
see, but
history of the
I
Shinobi
swear
world
that
and
statement's capped though, Jay. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all
yeah,
jutsu, that means he would know the eighth gate. That means he would know, like, flying
yeah,
Raijin. That motherfucker's never using it, bro. Like,
yeah. That's
that's,
true. He
like,
might
come
know
on.
of them. That
Yeah,
doesn't mean he knows how to use them. Yeah,
exact. Like, he may know them, but to use them, you know, like, because think about it. How many times would it have been convenient for him to use flying Raijin when he was at Edo Tensei? Or the eighth gate when he was
yeah,
at Edo Tensei? You see what I'm getting at? Like, I call cap on that shit. Because there's no, like, imagine spamming eighth gate as an Edo Tensei. Imagine that shit.
yeah. Exactly.
Like
Yeah,
Hiruzen is super intelligent. He would have done that. That does not make any sense whatsoever for him to not use the eighth gate when he knows how powerful that shit is. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
so.
I think it's
Yeah.
more so. Yeah, he knows of them, not necessarily he knows how to
Use
use
them
them. Yeah,
all
because why wouldn't he
exactly.
use? Yeah, exactly. Why wouldn't like against Orochimaru, for example, during the Konoha Crush arc? Why wouldn't he use something like the Eight Gates or Shadow Paralysis or
Yeah.
some sort of Kekkei Genkai? He obviously doesn't. It's more than likely he doesn't know how to use them or can't, but rather knows of them. So yeah, I do think Madara and Tobirama probably have the most knowledge out of these
Yeah.
duos.
Hey, I feel kind
Um,
of bad for Itachi because like he got the worst one. Like Kakashi,
yeah,
Kakashi, like he's intelligent, but it's like out of all these dudes we're talking about, yeah, it's not really. Like,
yeah. It's
not.
yeah. They got thrown. They got hoed because of
Yeah,
that.
Itachi got hoed because of
Uh,
Kakashi. Like,
what's going on,
and I'm
Mister
gonna say this
Pillow?
real quick. Tobirama would not have won the overall like knowledge part if it wasn't for Madara on his team. I'm just putting that out there though. Like, don't get me wrong, he is super
Yeah,
smart to
not
create
by.
some crazy. Yeah, but not by himself.
Yeah,
Yeah, he only won that because Madara was on his team. Like, but yeah, just putting that out there.
yeah.
But yeah,
As far as like single individual with the most knowledge, obviously it'd probably be like fucking Zetsu, but that's unfair because he's lived for like eons. But
yeah, yeah.
as far as like
I'd say Madara.
pure books, yeah, Madara's up there too. Pure book smart IQ. I guess Shikaku.
Yeah, okay.
Even Itachi, arguably, it'd be like Shikaku, Minato, and like Itachi. Like those three are like pure
Yeah, they
brains.
were
just think,
really into that books and shit, man. Yeah, like a Shikaku,
yeah,
Minato, and Itachi. Like, see, what I think it is like Itachi, he has the most like impressive analyzing feats, right?
yeah, he
Like and
definitely
on the
does.
fly, remind you, like
Him and
instantly.
Minato, yeah,
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 Minato has a
facts.
couple. I think like Minato's best one was with
Like
Obito.
Kamui,
Yeah, like the
yeah,
Kamui
facts,
shit, but
facts,
but overall, like
facts.
there's a lot of people that do that though. To be fair, like the Donzo henchmen did
That's
the
true.
same shit. Like there's a lot of people that do it,
Yeah,
and so like Obito's ability is really straightforward. So that's what I'm saying. Like when it comes to it, like not thinking about it, Itachi has the most analyzing intelligence feats. Shikaku doesn't really have a lot because he's never really in battle situations.
he's not combatant.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
he's
So
he's a strategist.
yeah,
not
he's
really
always a
that combatant.
strategy. Yeah, thinking of like countermeasures, contingency plans, and so that's what I'm saying. Like all book smart, like all nothing but fucking. So yeah, like if we really went that route, I would say
Brain power.
Shikaku has the most, impressive because like
Yeah,
he's just demonstrating that the most, right? That's
yeah,
literally what he's fucking known for is intelligence.
yeah. Pure
Yeah,
intelligence.
and correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't in part one Shikamaru was titled as the highest IQ out of any ninja?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty sure.
So like, but see, that is interesting though because like again, that would be like it'd be overall book smart. It's not where it's like analyzing or on the fly because Itachi outperformed Shikamaru many times when it came to analyzing intelligence. So like all because
Yeah,
you have the most IQ doesn't necessarily mean like that means you're gonna excel in every fucking metric, right? So there's that to put into
yeah,
consider. Like IQ is it's a weird thing. It's good. It's contentious, but regardless, like that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like I agree with Jay. Fucking like Shikaku for book smart and just knowing strategy, whatnot. Itachi's incredible though as well with strategy too. Like he did a lot of impressive ass strategies, but he
yeah,
has the most analyzing feats. Minato, he was just presented like he was presented with high level intelligence, but he didn't really have his shine moments with it. That's the problem.
he didn't.
Like
He
he
didn't.
was just,
Yeah,
if anything, his flex was just more just like his power, right? Like combat prodigy. Like he was just so fucking powerful, where he's shitting on people super fast, And because he was a genius, then we obviously know he's smart to like obviously to a high extent, right? And then what also really helped him was him having the highest score, with like which
yeah. That
if
really helped.
anything, obviously that means he's better than Shikaku, right? Or Shikamaru's dad. But that would be more in like testing, right? Like problem solving. You know what I mean? Like problem
Yeah,
solving or analyzing. So like, and actually not thinking about it. No, yeah. Jay, if that's the case with the because the whole fucking tuning exam is all about problem solving. You know what I mean? You're analyzing
it is.
things.
Yeah,
You're creating,
critical thinking.
strategy. Yeah, critical thinking. And if he had a better score than Itachi, that means Minato would be above Shikamaru's dad and Itachi. Then you know what I mean? So so
Yeah,
meaning Minato would be able to do the same exact thing that Itachi's done with all his analyzing feats, or probably even better, right? In theory,
yeah. I think what it.
So
Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think yeah, like you said, the yellow flat or Minato never had that like astounding intellectual feat because he was just so physically
always dominating.
dominant over everyone he fought. So
Exactly.
he didn't really need to think that much.
Yeah.
He would just outspeed people, which obviously doesn't require like super high IQ. While someone like, for example, Shikamaru, for example, let's say during the tuning exams, he's not the most physically gifted. So for example against Tamari, he had to think a little bit and
Yeah.
outsmart her. Now if he
Yeah.
had fucking Minato's speed, he wouldn't even need to think. He would just fucking beat her ass in like 2
Yeah,
seconds.
Minato literally
2 seconds.
Shikamaru. You know what I mean? Like literally Shikamaru, but with
like
power,
physical ability,
but like crazy
Yeah, exactly.
physical ability. Like, and actually, now thinking about it, in the manga and anime, like Naruto, even when he's talking about Kakashi, he's like, "Oh, Kakashi has Kiba's nose. He has Shikamaru's intelligence. You know, he's just as adept as Sasuke with the Sharingan. Like, so like even Kakashi is put in like a pretty very impressive high regard, in like on par with someone like Shikamaru, you know, and Shikamaru's dad. So that's what I'm saying. Like, then you have Minato, who literally had the best score, and meaning if you analyze that, we know what that was. It was literally based on critical thinking, crazy math problems, crazy hypothetical questions, combat scenarios, like the whole fucking nine. Like, we get all that information. It tells us that, you know?
Exactly.
So meaning, like, even though, like Jay said, he doesn't have all these analyzing feats, he would have to, though, because of that, right? The correspondence evidence, him being, you know, whatever. So meaning whatever Itachi has done, or Shikamaru's dad has done, or even fucking, you know, anyone else, right, that you're thinking of, he could do the same, but probably even better, right? And when he was in a combat scenario, this, like, gives him even more grace. When he fought someone where he couldn't necessarily dominate and it was actually close, aka Obito, what did he do? He used his intelligence. He deduced Kamui immediately. He immediately created a strategy in his head, and he combined Rasengan and Flying Raijin with the kunai behind him in his blind spot, teleported, got his ass, boom. You know? So, like...
Yeah, and that's like mere seconds. That was quick adaptation.
Like, quick
adaptation.
Very quick. And it's very impressive, you know? So, like, overall, like, no. If anything, like, when we're now thinking about it, when we're discussing that whole what you do has the most brains and blah, blah, like... Now, like, again, if we're saying, like, overall knowledge, you know what I mean, and everything,
someone with more experience,
like, or just, like, knowing all the jutsus and blah, 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 and experience and whatnot, obviously, Madara and Lord Second, right? But if it's just, like, if it's just pure raw intellect, like, analyzing, critical thinking, problem solving, the whole nine, Minato and Shikamaru's dad, for fucking sure.
Yeah.
Even better than Madara, because in theory, Madara and Hashirama probably were not exemptions, you know, to be taking the exams, right? The IQ exams, you know, to see how smart, whatever. Like, maybe they could have been an exception, but I don't think so, you know?
Yeah, and also, the reason why, specifically Minato and Itachi get the shorter and the stick, I guess Shikaku too, it's different. Shikaku is because he's not a combatant, so he doesn't have and feats because of that.
Yeah.
Minato and Itachi just didn't live that long. Neither one did. They died young.
So,
Madara and Kurama,
they stayed alive for a while.
Like a full lifespan. So imagine if these guys lived as long as those two did, what they would be.
They'd be even better.
The knowledge.
Yeah, they would be smarter.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So that's something to keep in mind too. Shikamaru was stated to have the highest IQ, but his dad just seems to be smarter, all around smarter. Yeah, he's lived longer. He has more experience.
Yep.
Sasori versus Kisame. Can Kisame deal with all of the puppets in his bubble before he gets poisoned? Yes.
Oh yeah.
He will deal with all the puppets. You can even theoretically hypothesize that if Sasori's in his water bubble, that the literal chakra on his chakra strings
gets absorbed.
Yeah,
they can't do shit. They wouldn't be able to move. Yeah.
Can't do shit. Yeah, exactly. And after that point,
it's a hard counter.
Literally, like, hard counter. He's literally the kryptonite.
Even if he gets hit by poison, Samahara would heal him. He can literally regen and heal. He could heal the poison. Like, Kasama is literally Sasori's kryptonite. Literally. Like, and then even in scaling, he has the edge as well, because if you count
for sure.
If you count the games, he was fighting against Sekatachi hand to hand physically. If you count the game as canon. It was Naruto Storm Revolution.
V1, V2B, yeah.
He was doing some crazy shit, you know. So like overall, like that's pretty fucking impressive. You know what I mean? Like he's no fucking joke. Like he's like even like now thinking about it, like if we're even doing a comparison with anime, like mind you, this was Itachi like right when he joined the Akatsuki. To be fair, not like, you know, sick Itachi. Who gets even stronger, or like Prime Itachi, but fucking this is right when he joins the Akatsuki. But when he's fighting the Three Tails, Lord Fourth Mizukage, when he goes into V2, like he goes to charge, and like Itachi blocks, like so he was fast to block and whatnot, but then he starts getting like hit by like that weird shell ability or whatever, and it was like fucking him up and shit. While Kasame, does it to V2 8 tails. Okay? Now, I'm not
Which is fucking
saying
crazy.
Itachi couldn't be able to replicate, potentially, but that's still crazy because 8 tails is way more powerful than 3 tails. Okay?
Facts.
So again, like Kasame's base raw speed is ridiculous. While you then have like fucking Sasori, who's having like a life and death contentious battle with Lady Chio, right? Sakura was the irrelevant factor. She was getting hard carried by fucking Lady Chio.
That's facts.
That's dishonest. People try to say he's like a Sakura. No, it's not. If you analyze the context and whatnot, yeah. But so like again, like even physically wise, like and stamina wise, like he looks better overall. So if you count the game, he's probably most definitely more superior, even in raw stats scaling wise. If you're comparing the anime, looks even better. If you're going solely based on manga, I'm gonna be real with you. It's even worse for Sasori. He has way less feats in screen time, and the anime and game makes Sasori even look more impressive because in the anime he's fighting Orochimaru Sannin. He's fighting against his Edo Tenseis and shit, you know what I mean? And he doesn't die while Hiruzen died, okay? The same Orochimaru. So, like, like, he's doing some pretty cool shit. And then, like, fuck it. And then with everything, like, we know, like, he just has way more impressive things. Way more. But then if you do the manga only and just statements only, like, the only fight he has is Lady Chio. Like,
that's it.
Yeah, and then you just have statements. And you can kind of, go left and right, whatever fucking branch of a tree direction you want to go for that. Whether if you have them above the Sonning because of it, or at Sonning level, right? It's one of the two. It's either at Sonning level or above the Sonning, And I'm referring to base Sonning, mind you. I'm not talking about Sonning Plus.
Right, yeah. Not like
Sonning Plus is a whole different. That's the Sonning Plus is really when they're approaching, like when they're getting to the high Kage levels. People like Minato, Itachi, etc. Like they're starting to approach, but they didn't get there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like again, Kasame, he's a fucking beast, dude. Like he really is a beast.
Yeah. His physical prowess, like people don't understand. Even again, like Batman said, in his base. He's contending with V1B. This is before he starts siphoning chakra, things of that nature. He's competing in speed, in base, with that ability. Additionally, he's literally a chakra vacuum. I think, like hypothetically, let's say swinging at Kisame, at Sasori. His Samahara catches onto a chakra string. He's gonna start absorbing chakra. He's gonna start absorbing fucking Sasori's chakra that's on that chakra string, weakening the connection between the puppet and Sasori, and that theoretically will lower the speed of the puppet, lower its AP, lower its capabilities. Like the guy is literally the kryptonite of Sasori. I don't think it's almost the worst possible matchup for him. Probably even worse than fucking Chio, because Chio, yes, she's a puppet master herself, but this guy will literally be weakening him while fighting him, with already a superior speed, even at the beginning before any siphoning occurs. So he's literally the worst possible matchup.
Like, bro, like look at what V1B, and mind you, this was with less tails, because he whipped out all 8 tails in V1 against Kasame right off the whip, and Kasame was able to casually, effortlessly react to him and steal all that chakra. And then B was like, oh, okay, and then he goes to V2, and Kasame did get hurt, but he was still able to react and block that attack. You know what I mean? Like, which is insane. So like again, like he's like, and that's a big deal because when B went V1 against Taka Sasuke, and yes, I know like he wasn't fully recovered. I don't want to. At the end of the day, I don't want to fucking hear it. He's probably close to his power, right? Either close or maybe there's no way he was 50% at power because that would have been stated. He wouldn't have fucking fought a Jinjuriki if he's at half his fucking power. That doesn't make no fucking sense, right? So he was either close to his original power, or he was at least like near it, like some regard, like where it's not the end of the world, where he is still, So and the reason why that has to follow logically and probability wise is because we've seen it throughout Part 1 Naruto, Shippuden, and especially in fucking Boruto. It's heavily emphasized that if you're not at full power, that can really fuck you up against high caliber opponents. Like it really puts you at a disadvantage where you're either misperforming or you're not able to deal with a threat that you would typically be able to easily deal with, right? Fatigue is a thing in Naruto. So again, overall, so he has to clearly still be somewhat near his original power. And Taka Sasuke, he's not weak. You know what I mean? Like, he has the MS at this point. He's pretty fucking strong. Yeah, he lost the curse mark, right, and all that, but that was just to amp his stats, right? He still regains his heavy stats, is what I'm getting at. Like, everything he's done in the beginning of Shippuden, all the way up, and you name it, even to the point where he fought Itachi and all that shit, whatever, he still has that physical scaling, right? You know, he just can't amp himself anymore. He doesn't have Sage Mode anymore, you know, and so on and so forth. So, like, with that being said, he's still strong, and B was not only beating his, he was beating him up, it was at least close, right? They were comparable, base to base, you know, but when B went V1, he fucking shitted on them. And that wasn't even all 8 tails. He shitted on them, bro, with just a couple tails. Toying with them, like... Yeah. The only reason why Sasuke dodged the first attack from V1 was because he charged at a distance. It was a linear attack, and he precogged it. He had to precog, and it basically aimed on whatever, and then he got out of the way. But then when B was right in front of him, like face-to-face, he got blitzed. Mind you, B was face-to-face to Kasame with all 8 tails out and charged at him.
Which is insane.
And he casually effort, you know what I mean? So again, like the speed with Kasame, you know, and especially Killer B and whatnot, who's also very fat, like, it's no joke. And Sasori just doesn't have...
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yeah, he doesn't have anything to really show that. Like, and mind you guys, the V1 and V2 transformations are extremely crucial in scaling in Naruto, because look what happened to Asanin. Jiraiya got bitched by Four Tails V2. You know what I mean? The speed discrepancy. Like, he just couldn't... Like, he barely survived that, you know? So, like, again, like, you know, like, the V2 transformations are no fucking joke, you know? So, yeah, no, Kasame, he's a beast. And you're also talking about the same dude that defeated... what was it? The monkey? Is he the Four Tails, right? Yeah, he beat the Four Tails all by himself.
Yeah.
You know?
Son Goku, yeah.
And that's fucking crazy. Insane. You know, like Itachi defeated the Three Tails with Amaterasu. Kasame beat him just with raw fucking power and speed. Just physical. And then he probably was getting stronger and stronger, obviously, because he's probably absorbing the guy's chakra. But either way, that's insane, because that same guy that can turn into the Four Tails Jinchuriki and Five Tails Jinchuriki, they literally have the ability to transform into the full, basically what Gaara did in Part 1 Naruto. They can transform into it fully because that was shown in the Minato one-shot manga.
Biju avatars.
You know? Biju avatars. Yeah. And that is a whole other... That's like for Gaara, he became a Sannin from doing that. And he didn't even have perfect mastery over Shikaku. That was just like somewhat control of the perfect form. You know what I mean? And he was already Sannin level. And he's the one tail. Yeah. Imagine a fucking Four Tails going into that form, right? Like... That motherfucker's gonna be no joke. That's like probably even above the Sannin, you know. So like Jiraiya in the Minato one shot, like he couldn't do shit when they transform into those two Biju avatars. They started channeling a Biju bomb. They couldn't do shit. They had to run. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like Minato had to do flying Raijin. So
even Jiraiya's like, I'm dipping.
Like, and you're talking about, and mind you, that Jiraiya. That's an older Jiraiya. Wasn't like super young either. Like he's still older. He has all that experience. He has Sage Mode as well, the whole 9. And yet he's like, yeah, no, we need to retreat, right? So again, like the Four Tails dude is no joke. And again, Kasame beat him in a 1v1. Like Kasame is a monster. Yeah. People sleep on that guy. You know,
way too much. Yeah. I just really like Kisame and think he's not getting enough credit. Yeah, it's fact.
Facts.
I love Kisame.
Absolutely.
I know Kisame was good at fighting him, but I don't think Jiraiya is fighting. Yeah, so I think in Part 1, and I think it logically follows, there are multiple things that were retconned. Like, for example, Hiruzen being the strongest Kage, that's obviously not, or excuse me, Hokage. Yeah. That's obviously not the case in Shippuden. I think it's more than likely the same when it comes to Kisame versus Jiraiya. Now, you could argue that it wasn't retconned and that simply put Itachi influenced him to not fight Jiraiya because clearly he's undercover and was actually an ally. Yeah. He was telling him, like, basically confirming what Kisame thought would happen when he was telling him, like, Itachi, you know, you might have a chance, but I don't. And Itachi's basically, he basically confirmed those fears and doubts by saying, oh, yeah, like, me and Jiraiya would probably kill each other and shit. Exactly. Basically, like, scared Kisame.
But Shippuden, we see Jiraiya
again, like Batman brought up the one shot, he was fearful of the foretell, but fucking Kisame beat it by himself one on one with pure physicality. So it's like it shows a gap different, a difference.
And Shippuden Itachi destroyed Orochimaru, who beat Jiraiya.
Yeah,
they had a life and death contentious fight between those two, and like
that also contradicts it. Yeah, exactly.
You know, so
it also contradicts it. So I think more than likely it's either a retcon or Itachi just kind of fueled his doubts that were probably wrong. Like he was probably making him doubt himself because he didn't want to fight an ally.
Yeah, he's
and
a spy,
and if he had to protect him, that would give up his cover, blow his cover. So it's one of those two, and I think either one logically tracks. It blows my mind that Kakashi didn't tell Naruto about the Shadow Clones in part 1. That's really useful information he could have had. Yeah, that's true. I think part of the reason though would be that he doesn't have the Nine Tails under control as much as he did.
It was
by
a
the time
lot
he started
worse.
teaching him
His chakra control.
It was much more of a risk.
Yeah,
it was much more of a risk, and there's less understanding.
Yeah, and then Yamato wasn't there either. Yamato was not available.
Wasn't there to stop it.
Yeah, because
he wasn't around.
They only did that in the Kagazu arc because Yamato was there to supervise it. Because during Shippuden, actually now I remember, in Shippuden they relieved Yamato from Anbu and made him the Jonin instructor to replace Kakashi temporarily because Kakashi had to be sent on missions. Yeah. So, but during part 1, Yamato was in the Anbu and he was always away. So they didn't have anyone to do that training. So that's why actually he even if he wanted to, he couldn't be able to. So
yeah. Fortail's Naruto's crazy though. People like to say Orochimaru fought evenly with him, but Orochimaru did zero damage. He was
just surviving.
No. He was getting bitched. He had to leave. Yeah. Jiraiya almost died by his hand as well. He has a mortal wound.
Like in the manga, it just blatantly emphasized and implies that he just couldn't fuck with the Fortails in base and got bitched.
Yeah.
In the anime, we actually get to see the fight, and he literally just gets speed blitz. Like Naruto goes in the Fortails, charges at him, he blocks, but it doesn't matter. Like he got fucking pierced and ripped apart.
Pure AP.
Yeah, pure AP. Like it's been like literally what happened to Kasame when Killer Bee went V2 Eight Tails was the exact same thing that happened to Jiraiya. The only difference is Kasame can heal and get stronger from it, while Jiraiya suffers the damage and he's fucked.
Yeah,
he so
full blow like Fortail Naruto.
So exactly. So again, like and see, and this is where it's crazy because what's even more insane. Is this Kasame a dead ass? I'm not even lying. He would beat base Sonic too. He would beat the fuck out of base Sonic. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Now, if it's like their plus like Sonic plus form, I think that's where it's interesting, especially if he's starting in his base. It's
more contentious.
Yeah, it can go, and then I think honestly, Kasame would just immediately have to go into his Biju form, like his tailless Biju form, in order to like either be above,
especially Sage mode.
Yeah. Like Sage mode, like he would. Yeah, that's probably like. This is the way I say it. It would be a dope fight. Like, they're fighting in base, right? Kasame is definitely physically superior, and Jiraiya's getting bitched, right? Jiraiya, like, somehow retreats. He goes into Sage mode. He recovers, whatever. Goes back. Okay, they start fighting. Now Kasame has to transform, and then it goes from there. And from there, I'll let it be with whatever you guys think. But in all honesty, I do still think... I think Kasame will probably lose, because he'll probably transform into a frog. If he's absorbing nature energy,
he tries to eat the chakra.
Yeah, that's just blatantly the rule. Yeah. If you absorb the chakra, which that's literally what Kasame does, he'll turn into a fucking frog. So yeah, Jiraiya would just win by making him. Yeah, he'll turn his advantage into a weakness, basically.
The nature energy being absorbed.
Yeah. So if anything, Jiraiya would win. But yeah, if it's base Sonic, Kasame's slapping him. The base Sonic are just not full form Biju level, and they're not V2 level. Like when and I'm talking about the 8 tails and 9 tails, because obviously there's different realms of V2 power. Okay, there's no way to prove the 2 tails or 3 tails V2 or the 4 tails V2 are the same as the 8 tails or 9. There's no way to prove that. You know what I mean? So overall, so overall, like fucking again, like that's what you're working with. So like Kasame, even just he's more superior than the fucking base Sonic. Like he has better feats. Better accomplishments in the base Sonic, So yeah, like he would wash up. And then like the part 1 Kasame, another thing you guys forget too is even if we disregard the retcon or everything else Jay said or whatever blah, it kind of logically follows for how he can get so strong within that time skip, because Kasame's whole fucking thing is stealing chakra from people and getting stronger. He's constantly fighting and killing and stealing chakra. So if he's in the Akatsuki, and we know the Akatsuki are always set on missions for assassinations and all this crazy shit, right? And he's always fighting and getting chakra and chakra and chakra, or probably fighting against like high Jonin, or maybe even more other strong people. This guy is getting stronger and stronger and stronger at an abnormal rate because of Samahata, right? And so meaning he eventually, like, to where Shippuden gets to, he's just fought in so many people, he's gotten so much chakra, where now he's at that power level, right? And he just had an abnormal growth. True. That's
very possible.
Very possible, right? He had an abnormal growth because he has something that no other ninja has the benefit from, of increasing your fucking chakra pool. Like, I mean, like, all the other ninja, they can train to make their chakra pool larger, right? And their stamina larger. But that takes a lot of time. Kasame didn't have that same issue. He didn't have to worry about that. He just got stronger. Yeah.
Basically on steroids.
Literally.
Steroids at all times.
Samahata is ridiculous. Which, honestly, we brought up the hit-on shit earlier. What ninja do you think would benefit the most with Samahata? Like, for power and everything? Like,
honestly, that's a good question. So for that kind of ability,
absorbing chakra by any touch you do, you get stronger. Like, you could turn into a Biju, where you become like a tail beast. You have so much chakra and power, you're considered a fucking tailless tail beast.
Someone that that's powerful but has chakra issues, maybe like Itachi. Like, he would just keep getting more chakra. And fucking imagine him spamming
that would be insane. Crazy. And he's healing. He would also have EMS technically because he's healing his eyes. He
would never go blind and shit. That's insane. He'd be like, I think
Itachi would make Madara fucking beg for mercy and Obio.
Samahata Itachi would. Damn, dude, that'd be cracked. That'd be cracked. Was Sarutobi in his prime really the strongest shinobi amongst the Hokage? I think, like we said earlier, that's a retcon. I don't think he was the strongest in his prime. Well, that was stated in part 1, but after Shippuden, that was definitely not insinuated to be the case. At best, he was superior. I mean, say in the data books as well, he's superior to what Tobirama was in his prime.
And here's facts. Like, and here's why too. Like, think of this too, Jay, and I'll let you elaborate it and continue. Like, we actually get to see Edo Hiruzen to where he now doesn't have to suffer the effects of his age, right? And that's the closest you're going to get to a Prime Hiruzen, in theory, on paper, on screen, and you name it. And we were seeing some dope shit, right? We were seeing him do Shadow Clones where he's doing all 5 fucking chakra natures, right? You know what I mean? Like, because remember, when he was fighting Orochimaru, he could only do like 1 or 2 Shadow Clones because of his old age.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Very, very
but in the war, he casually did 5 Shadow Clones like it was nothing. And then fucking doing crazy high-level ninjutsu to counter the wood fucking golem statue that Hashirama uses, but it was Yamato's version instead. Like,
Guru statue.
And that thing is huge. Like, fucking...
It was fucking up the whole line.
None of them could get through, like... So he was no fucking joke as an Edo. And you're talking about a dude that, like, was fast enough physically, raw physical stats, to outspeed the Divine Tree, not get touched to... Like, he didn't get touched, not even by a centimeter. Like, if that vine touches you at all, you lose all your chakra and you're dead. Like, it shitted on KCM 2 Seijima Naruto. Okay? Like, and took all of his chakra instantly. Like, so Hiruzen was so fucking fast with that staff. He's breaking all the vines, and he was able to save Naruto. While Tobirama couldn't do it. Very impressive. Tobirama couldn't do it with his raw physical stats. He tried with his ninjutsu. He lacked it because he tried ninjutsu, which makes sense. Typically, your ninjutsu is a lot more faster than your physical stats. That's just consistently been shown, right? Jutsu activation, whatever, the whole 9. He tried with his jutsu. That couldn't do it. He doesn't even try hand-to-hand combat because he just couldn't. Like, he never states he could have. He doesn't say, "Oh, my water style's too slow. I'll just now save him." Like, I'll just save him by myself. He doesn't say none of that, right? It's just water style. He's like, "Damn, the vines are too fast." And then Hiruzen comes and then fucking saves it. You know what I mean? Like, and in Minato, the only reason why he couldn't save Naruto is because the vines did get him before, and they drained his chakra and power. So he was too slow at that point. Because Kishimoto would have dug himself a fucking hole if he didn't explain why the fuck Minato didn't save Naruto. With KCM. Minato was just weakened. Tobirama wasn't fast enough. Hiruzen's like, I got this shit, bro. Hold my beer. You know what I mean? Like, so, like,
He
he
literally
crazy
came in.
physical stats, crazy jutsu feats, shadow clone feats and shit. You know, like, he was no joke. You know what I mean? Like, fucking...
Yeah, he's very
So,
impressive.
like, and that's the closest you get to see, but even Nat Hiruzen was not regarded as the fastest. Minato was still faster than him. Base Minato,
Yep.
mind you. Base Edo Minato. Okay, not fucking
Yeah.
even with KCM. It was base that they're referring to, okay? And then Hashirama was still considered the strongest and biggest threat by
strongest.
Madara, okay? He never
Yep.
saw Minato or he was oh yeah, fuck, you know what I mean? Like, or oh shit, like, look at this guy.
yeah,
like,
exactly.
you know, like even when Hashirama came to the battlefield along with the others, he never said, "Oh, well, yeah, like fucking, you know, this dude made it to the battlefield. He was so much fat, like oh yeah, he would shit on no." Never makes any of those analysis. Never in those states. Like Madara's the first one to tell us what the fuck he's thinking. Consistency wise, in the book,
Yeah.
we always know what the fuck that motherfucker's thinking. He's just always speaking in his mind, you know. And not one time,
Man, he thought they could beat him.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And still thought only Hashirama was, even though Minato got there way quicker than them. You know what I mean? So, like, overall,
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
that goes to show, like, meaning, therefore, either because Hashirama's Sage Mode, right? Or there's at least still relativity, but Minato was just obviously faster in a race scenario, right? But in a combat scenario,
Yep.
Hashirama would still be fine, whether if it's because of his wood style jutsu activation or if it's because of his instantaneous Sage Mode amp, right? So,
Yeah,
overall,
exactly.
which I'm leaning more towards the Sage Mode amp. But regardless, like, with all that being said, that's as close as you get to seeing Hiruzen. Other than that, we have the part 1 shit and then all the statements. So I just want to, like, throw that in there, Jay, and then I know you're going to say all the other stuff too, but yeah.
No, yeah, I think I agree. Edo is the closest we ever saw to his prime, and we saw him outperform Tobirama multiple times.
Yeah.
People like and
Who is the speed
that just
shinobi?
goes to show that
Like, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
exactly. When Flying Rising is not helpful, he outspeeds Tobirama. When Flying Rising is not a
yeah. Don't get it twisted. Flying Raijin, Tobirama, like, if Tobirama uses Flying Raijin, that shits on Hiruzen in speed, obviously.
Yeah, instantaneous.
But we're talking about physical. Like,
Yeah.
so
I do
even
think,
body
to
flicker.
be
Body
honest,
flicker is physical speed. That still counts, you know? So,
yeah, still counts as well. To be honest, I think Jiraiya's only win con is Frog Song, which is a big problem for Kasame. So how do you think Samehada can handle nature energy? Frog Song would definitely be a win con if he can Kisame in it. Also, I think Samehada wouldn't be able to help handle nature energy. We have seen historically that Samehada does react badly to certain types of chakra.
Yes.
You know, there's some that burn him.
Yep.
He can't absorb that kind of stuff.
Yeah, like fire
and
style, like he can
somebody's-
absorb it, but it fucks him up. It hurts him. He's like,
Yeah.
hey, like that's really hot. Don't do that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah, exactly. So it would basically Samehada would react negatively.
Samehada is
to
like a
the-
fucking
to the
animal.
nature
He's literally
energy
like an
bombardment.
animal. Like it does. He's no different
It's like a
than.
pet.
You would have to
Yeah.
basically argue and substantiate that he somehow has exemptions from dealing with the effects of nature
Yeah.
energy.
There's just nothing that
Like yeah.
there's nothing that points to that. So more than likely, yeah, he responds badly. What if Naruto actually channeled Kakashi and threw him a time period post Sasuke retrieval pre-time skip? So if he trained with him instead, I don't know. It might go the same. It's hard to tell. Kakashi's obviously a very intelligent and very good teacher as well.
I don't think it. I don't
think
honestly. I think it'd be worse because
Yeah.
it's what really can fucking Kakashi offer him no different than what Jiraiya could. But the main
did.
difference is Jiraiya at least had the resources to really push Naruto because he had the ceiling shit to deal with if he went on a rampage with Ninetales, right? Like he could, whatever.
Yeah.
Like Kakashi didn't have that stuff. He didn't have the frog that has the key. He didn't have all that paper ceiling shit, and whatnot. Like Jiraiya was
Summonings,
literally
yeah.
suited specifically to train Naruto and really push him to his limits, and without having to worry about Nine-Tail rampages and whatever, the whole nine, and whatnot. Like Kakashi would probably try to do a very similar training with him, like chakra control, learning genjutsu, like how to deal with it, or how to combat it. Obviously, like to make your rising gun bigger, or maybe even try to use the Nine-Tails power too. Like Kakashi he's not stupid, you know what I mean? But the problem is the fact that he also knows how dangerous the Nine-Tails is, and he didn't have the resources to deal with it. Jiraiya did, though. Only Jiraiya and Yamato were the only ones that could suppress Naruto. Like, the problem with Naruto is is Naruto has to train, okay, and there's a risk with him training because when he's training, that affects his stamina and chakra, and that's a key factor for the Nine Tails to try to get over, right? Whatever.
Yeah, trying to get out.
And to try to get out, or because, the seal is weakening, the whole fucking nine. So, like, again, like, the problem with Kakashi is it just probably go even worse. Like, he'll have even way less progress. And with Jiraiya, it was pretty fucking shit.
That's true.
Like, his progress with Jiraiya was shit, man. Like, yeah, there's a difference. Like,
yeah, he didn't get like way stronger or anything.
No, like he got way stronger than like his kid getting part 1, but okay, like he was still pretty fucking like all he really got was slightly stronger than when he was young. And he got a bigger Rasengan when he goes QB mode, okay, and it wasn't even that big, remind you. It was like the same size as Minato's, okay, fucking, and then other than that, what's it called? Like that was literally it. Like it's just a bigger Rasengan, and then he had like some type of training knowledge about Genjutsu with Jiraiya. You know what I mean? Like and then if you take the anime into consideration, we get even more statements. It's even worse where like Tsunade is roasting Naruto, saying like he's still struggling in these aspects in these areas as when he was a kid and blah blah blah. Like all this stuff like all the other Genin that are now either tuning or joning, like they're even technically still above him in many aspects, whatnot. Like Naruto had very shit growth when it came from him as a kid to the beginning of Shippuden.
Yeah, I agree. I do think it would be less beneficial with Kakashi, like you said. I think one, Jiraiya has more experience, a wider arsenal to show Naruto. He has a summoning, which was obviously very useful later on in his career as a shinobi. He used Gamabunta, etc. While conversely, Kakashi has a smaller arsenal and has less tools to deal with the incidents that could come with, the Nine Tails coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? If Kakashi was in Jiraiya's place, he might have died against the Four Tails. He might have killed him. I think it would be less beneficial if he'd had less progress. He might have even killed Kakashi if he fucking rampaged and was powerful enough. He might have killed him.
If he took the risk.
I do think, I know a lot of people probably deem that it'd be better, but if you think about it, he has less control over what could have happened if he rampaged. He has less of a arsenal that could be actually learned by Naruto. Obviously, his Sharingan to give him a lot of like tools or a lot of jutsus, but that doesn't necessarily mean Naruto would learn them, right? Especially with the Nine Tails like disrupting his chakra all the time. So I do think Jiraiya was he was definitely the better teacher at the time.
What more could Kakashi possibly give him when Jiraiya already started giving him the stepping stones in part 1 Naruto? Like he already started helping him more with chakra control. He already showed him how to summon fucking Gambunta with the Nine Tails chakra. He literally already started pushing him in a direction, as much as he could, right? And then now it was up to Naruto just to further develop his chakra control and further develop himself as a shinobi. You know what I mean? Like at that point, you can't give that, right? You can't really enhance that. That's up to the person themselves, Kakashi, Kakashi literally had nothing more to give. The only thing Kakashi could possibly do would be like the what he did in Shippuden, the Rise and Shuriken training, but he couldn't do that in part 1 because like Jay said, you could argue his chakra control wasn't sufficient enough at that point in stamina. And even if it was too, they have nobody to suppress the Nine Tails. Nobody.
Yeah,
because Jiraiya's always gone and Yamato's always gone in the Anbu. So and honestly, there's further substantiation with this, and Boruto. When Boruto as a kid wanted to go to the next level and to get stronger and train, what was immediately Kakashi's fucking go-to? And mind you, he knows this kid's a prodigy. He knows how gifted he is, whatever, the whole nine. The immediate training he wanted him to do, learn an S-rank jutsu and I want you to do what your father did with the Rising God. That's what immediately he wanted him to start doing was chakra control and to develop a fucking S-rank jutsu Rising God. Like, it wasn't, you need to do this or that. No, just immediate. And then with Sasuke, what did he do with Sasuke? Only what he could do. Sharingan development, right? Shidori, which complements the fucking Sharingan. Like, he was very similar to Kakashi. So, again, logically and realistically speaking wise, Kakashi can really only give based upon what he's working. He's not fucking Jesus, right? Nobody is, exactly. Unless you're an exception like a Tachi or a Minato and so on and so forth, So
yeah, exactly. Why was Hiruzen? Ito Hiruzen was aura farming the war artifacts. Why was Hiruzen revived as an old man? I have my theory, but what do you think, Jay? I think everyone was revived around the time at the age of when they deceased, except Madara, because Kabuto even expressed he
was different.
He had a special interest in Madara. He did like
modifications.
He did these modifications, exactly, like putting him in his prime, giving him the Renegon. The Hashirama
cells also probably was the exception too, which now thinking about it, Hashirama cells is always the exception to everything. Like, it somehow was the key factor to spam Kodo Matsukami. It's somehow the key factor where Obito doesn't lose his light. It's the key factor in fucking A, B, C, D and throughout the whole fucking show, you know? So
it's definitely an outlier. So I think, from my understanding at least, all Edos besides Madara, who was a special case, were revived at the time that they were deceased, like at the age they were deceased, from my understanding. And I think Madara is just an exception. So I think Hiruzen just falls into that. I think that's underestimating Kakashi, though. It's not like Naruto came back with Nine Tails Master Die there. Kakashi would just focus on other topics, and like we have with the QB. Here's the thing, though.
Yeah, what other topics? What other topics, though?
And here's the thing. You can't, if you're trying to teach Naruto anything that involves chakra control or chakra usage,
that boils up down to him. He can't, like, bro, if Jiraiya couldn't further, what the fuck you think Kakashi's doing? You know what I mean? Like, bro, like another example, like Minato. Jiraiya didn't really have to do shit with Minato. Like, if anything, the only thing he really could give Minato was, like, wisdom, right? Like, because of his experience, you know, or, like, the morality in the ninja world. That's all he got. Like, every time he tried to fight, he was like, that's why he made a statement like, it's literally no fun training a prodigy. Because, like, they're already, they got it themselves, right? Like, when Orochimaru, like, told him in the manga and the anime, he's like, bro, you picked that fucking idiot to train and try to develop what, you know, like, I got Sasuke, bro. You know what I mean? Like, you're stupid, right? And then Jiraiya literally says, there's no point in training a prodigy. Like, it's pointless. Like, it's literally no fun. Like, again, like, when it comes to development and quick development or self-improvement, you can only do so much and go so far. Like that, and that's consistently been shown in Naruto. Like the only thing that can enhance the foundation of your power, the only thing is, like, who is technically teaching you. You know what I mean? Like think of it as, like, Hiruzen with Jiraiya and Tsunade and Orochimaru. If Hiruzen wasn't with them, they definitely would not have went the directions they would have went, right? Like Orochimaru would have still been a genius because he was already a genius. Like, Orochimaru would have been fine, and he probably would have developed, you know, very similarly, but he would have still have been nowhere near as powerful as he was because of Hiruzen's guidance, because Hiruzen introduced the summoning jutsu to them, and he started introducing all the foundations and things that Hashirama and Tobirama taught Hiruzen, right? Like, that's certain, like, favor... You know what I mean? Like, that's certain, like, historical advantages that they're only getting, which is why they, like, immediately climbed to, like, to the point where they were at, right? They were known as the legendary Sonic, about, like,
top of their field.
You know, and so But one thing you got to also put into consideration, that's Hiruzen, though, right? We're talking about Kakashi. Kakashi is not Hiruzen, okay? Like, he doesn't have the experience and training knowledge from the first Okage and second Okage. He doesn't have that. Hiruzen had that and passed that along to Jiraiya, Tsunade, and Orochimaru. So Orochimaru is living the fucking dream because he's a genius and he's just amplifying that, what he just got, right? Jiraiya is a fucking idiot, but because of Hiruzen's guidance and repetition, now he's able to make the full use of it, right? And Tsunade, same thing. She was, like, basically an average number. She wasn't really I guess you could say she was a genius because, her chakra control was insane. But overall, like, that was because of Hiruzen. Kakashi is not no motherfucking Hiruzen. So and then, like, with that being said, if Jiraiya has the same training, same experience, all that from Hiruzen, he's obviously trying to give that to Naruto, right? And then Naruto still has shit growth. That just goes to show you that it ultimately boils down to the shinobi himself, right?
Yeah, he's just he was a troubled student because of the Nine Tails.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's that simple.
Yeah.
And Jiraiya didn't have the Nine Tails to fuck with him either. Like, that's another handicap you also forget. The Nine Tails was very, very problematic for Naruto's chakra control and the whole nine.
Very.
Just a lot of fucking issues.
Cooperative.
You know, like, Jiraiya didn't have to deal with that. If anything, you want to know what fucking Jiraiya gets? You want to know what the fuck he got? That motherfucker got sent to Mount Miyaboku and learned Sage Mode as a fucking kid. That's what the fuck that guy got. Like,
Yeah, it's pretty impressive.
Dude was getting fucking Sage Mode and already training for that as a kid. Now, the question is, when did he, like, acquire Sage Mode? Was it when he was a kid or when he maybe got older? Probably when he got older. But either way...
More likely.
Yeah, but either way, like, and for Sage Mode, that requires, like, immense chakra control, man. Like, you gotta be on point with that shit. Like, you're really training it in the fucking trenches, right? So, like, again, like, Jiraiya's, like, circumstances with, like, that really extreme chakra control training with Sage Mode when he's a kid, the experience and knowledge from Hiruzen, like, it's not even this, it's a false equivalence with Naruto. While Naruto, he's not being forced to have extreme chakra control, right off the whip with, Sage Mode and whatnot as a kid. He's not dealing with any of that. He doesn't have the same, none of that shit. And, with Kakashi, right? Like, when we first see him with Kakashi, like, we see him from the beginning of Land of Ways when he's introduced to chakra control training, all this shit. And, like, he gets stronger slowly, but it's not, like, insane fucking growth, right? You know what I mean?
At all.
Yeah, and like
early on now, yeah.
And then Jay, like, throughout the entirety of Part 1 Naruto, there's multiple characters. Kabuto is one of them, where Kabuto's like, we're really lucky this guy doesn't have good chakra control, because if he had amazing chakra control, he would be a fucking monster. Godlike. Okay, with how much chakra he had. Because
which he became later.
Yeah, because he was the Ashura reincarnation. And he wasn't talking about the Ninetales. Because whenever people are talking about the Ninetales, they specifically mention the Ninetales if it's something with Naruto, right? He was just simply talking about Naruto's chakra himself, like his normal blue chakra. You know what I mean? Like, he was like, this guy would be a fucking monster with how much chakra and stamina he had, but thankfully he has shit chakra control, so whatever, And that's said multiple times. It's not just Kabuto that says that. So, like, again, like, there's, like, regardless whoever is training you, like, yes, depending who it is, sure, there is somewhat of a foundation you gain from that as an advantage, but there's only certain individuals that really can give you that foundation, right? And then Jiraiya even had that benefits, and that still wasn't enough for Naruto,
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
It wouldn't be any different,
Yeah, it wouldn't. Part 2 Naruto was probably low Jonin and base, but he couldn't do anything without the Ninetales. That was pretty much the point of the arc. I agree. Just popping in to say what's up, brothers. It's been a minute. God bless. Hey, God bless, brother. Good to see you again, Brandon. Appreciate you. The best teacher for Naruto is undoubtedly B. Oh, for sure. I mean, B was as closest to Naruto as you could get until Naruto became godlike. Perfect in Cherokee. Had perfect cooperation with his respective tailed beast. Had a friendship with his tailed beast. Had a similar upbringing early on. He was kind of looked very strangely upon by his peers and society. B just didn't give a fuck, and he became that guy. I do agree.
B was fucking...
yeah, he didn't give a fuck. And I do agree. At that point in time, B would undoubtedly be the best teacher for him.
B was a prodigy.
Not to mention, mention as well, it's very likely that the Eight Tails would speak to the Nine Tails. He'd be like, hey, bro, Naruto's a good kid, and I think you should work with him. Who knows? Maybe the Ninetales would have became friendly with Naruto when he was a fucking kid.
Like B, if anything, B would definitely be the best to really, because like he basically would just be immediately starting him like, hey, you need to start trying to be a perfect Jinchuriki, right?
That'd be crazy.
Because remember, like B, as a kid, when he fought with A against Minato, he was very young. He was like a teenager at that point. And he didn't have full mastery, like perfect Jinchuriki control, but he had partial mastery to where he could force and use like the full transformation or V2 or V1, whatever. But he had to be careful, because if he wasn't careful how much chakra he was doing, it could backfire and he could die, or he could lose control.
Facts.
And that was shown way in the beginning, because again, there's partial mastery and you have full mastery. Full mastery for Naruto was KCM 2, right? And then partial was KCM 1. For B, partial was like when he was a teen when it was shown, and then when he was shown against Sasuke when he's first introduced, that's when he had mastery. That was basically KCM 2B. When we saw him against Top.
KCM 2B basically.
So like overall, like he would definitely be the best. The only issue though, and this is kind of an interesting narrative question, is politically Jiraiya would have to be okay with giving the sealing key to B though. To the Cloud Village. Like, he would have to be comfortable to give him something like that, and to trust that they're willing to train him and not try to fuck over Konoha. And at that point in time, the Cloud Village has consistently multiple times tried to fucking stab him in the back. Like they had peace treaties, and they're over here trying to steal the Byakugan, or they're doing a bunch of other bullshit. You know, so that's the only thing. You know, but yeah.
Yeah, the political ramifications of allowing someone from from the Cloud Village to train Naruto, especially with Hiruzen dead, and arguably the Leaf being more vulnerable due to his death.
Yeah,
it would be probably very difficult for someone like B to.
And that's more likely why it didn't happen so early either. That's probably because they weren't on good the best terms, the Cloud and the Leaf, because of all the bullshit.
Yeah, like imagine the Raikage at that time being like, B, fuck no, like that's our enemy. You're gonna train him to become perfect to Cherokee. So that's probably what stopped it. But yeah, theoretically he was able to train him. Obviously Naruto.
Like the only reason why B even did it narratively at that point in time was because they had to join as an alliance because of Madara, because they were scared of Obi.
At that point, the whole world had to come together and unite.
Yeah, that's the only reason. So
Madara was literally a global threat that it required an entire global alliance. That's how powerful Madara was.
Yeah.
He's that powerful. But yeah, I agree. B would be the best. But yeah, folks, any questions you may have, please feel free. I was looking for some more cool Naruto stuff on X as well while you guys do that. Any questions at all? Again, it can be any topic really, sports, comic books. I've been getting into that a lot as well.
Yeah.
So whatever you guys want to ask, feel free. Damn, bro, I didn't think about that. What if Naruto came back at the time skip? Yeah, exactly. B would be a monster. B would be a pretty great teacher at that point in time if it was allowed. Yeah, folks, any questions at all, please feel free. You can switch it up. Again, comic books, anime, conspiracy, sports, IRL stuff. In other news, next week, more than likely, we're going to do a Change My Mind for the first time. I think, let me look at because I put a post on my community post where I asked you guys what topic would you want us to have or try to have our minds changed on, and you guys voted mostly on Minato beats Tobirama. That's what you guys voted on the most. So what we're probably going to do next week is a stream called Change My Mind, where we believe, obviously, that Minato beats Tobirama, and then any one of you guys can come in and try to convince us otherwise. I guess you could call it a debate. It's more of an informal debate. You guys can come in and try to convince us. It's like a pseudo debate.
Just having discussions. It's not going to be like an official where like, like you're over here sending scans and the whole nine and blah blah.
Yeah, it won't be that official.
Yeah,
it'll be more for informative purposes, but also entertainment.
Just fun, argumentative, discussions and the whole nine, and that's about it. And like obviously, if anyone's willing to try to show scans, so maybe like I don't know, convince us or like just to show we'll allow
to an extent,
but yeah.
We won't it won't be like super rigorous like an actual debate, but it'll mostly to entertain you guys and to give you guys a show.
Yeah.
And if that does well, we'll do more in the future as well, for sure. B would low-key still turn Naruto because when does he actually listen to his brother? That's facts. B is he's a fucking rebel, bro.
Oh yeah. He just does what he wants. Like if B just likes you, then he's gonna fuck with you. Basically, that's just how his personality was.
He fucks with you.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, he fucked with Naruto really early. I mean, low-key, he rebelled against A when A wasn't letting Naruto go to the battlefield in the war.
Yep.
Bitch,
he followed Naruto.
Bro.
Yep. Yeah.
You're tripping. Yeah.
And then he tried. Like, what was really funny is like he tried to help Naruto, but he couldn't do shit. He could not do shit against V1B. And then when A, like, arguably maybe he could deal with V1B like if he went to V2. But even if he went to V2, the moment Raikage goes to V2, he couldn't fuck with him. Like, there's nothing he could do.
He even said it.
Yeah,
he even said it.
Yeah, he couldn't, like...
He's like, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh, fuck, he went V2.
He's going to really kill Naruto, blah, blah. Like, he's literally conceding that, like, there's nothing he can do. Because, again, he doesn't want Naruto to die. And he was protecting him in the battle several times. I mean, like, he's not going to let Naruto die if he has the ability to protect him. But eventually it got to a point where he couldn't interfere due to the power of, the Raikage.
Facts. Yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of people lot of people, like, are weird with that. Like, they when they've read that whole fight or watched it, whatever, there's still some people that are weird and think, oh, no, B's stronger than the Raikage and blah, blah, all this shit. But it's like, if he really was stronger, then why didn't he do a full transformation or a V2 transformation to fight V2 Raikage? Why would he be willing to let Naruto die? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, he would have.
Yeah.
He basically admitted
He
inferiority.
and he even promised Iruka that he would protect Naruto. He made that promise to
Yeah.
Iruka too. So
Yeah, he did. What's going on, Blue Raspberry, sorry. Apparently they're doing a new Dragon Ball Super anime. It might adapt the manga. Bro, the last time we saw some peak Dragon Ball stuff, I was in high school, bro. So I'm praying that that's the case. I'm praying that they depict the newer parts of the manga that were never depicted after the Tournament of Power.
yeah.
I think we're all praying at this point. I mean, there's so much potential. The Moro arc, the Granola arc. We got, of course, now Black Frieza. We got Beast Gohan. I mean, we got that in the movie.
Jay,
But,
here's the issue. Like,
Ultra
they're
Ego
just behind.
Vegeta, bro.
The anime is behind,
very,
man. Just like
very
Boruto.
behind.
It's like the Boruto show. Like they're so fucking behind. Like, hurry up. Like, we got some good shit in the manga. They just gotta show it in the anime, man. Like,
yeah, and the problem is, unfortunately, our goat,
yeah,
Toriyama passed, and ever since then, Dragon Ball, the whole Dragon Ball narrative and franchise has sort of been on a standstill for whatever reasons, whether it's legal reasons or fighting over rights, whatever the case may be. At least from my understanding, very unfortunate. Even the manga itself, I believe, has been in hiatus for a while, if I'm not mistaken.
yeah.
Let's just pray that it comes back and we get some peak anime, man. Some peak manga and anime. I mean, there's so much potential. There's so much. There's so much potential for what's to come. Like Ultra Ego, Vegeta maybe finally getting his moment with his Ultra Ego form.
Like, I have a question, man. Like, you know what really sucks? Like, because like in Dragon Ball Super, with like the anime that we did get, right? Like, everything was fucking ass until the Tournament of Power, right?
It was
the Tournament of Power was great, but everything else was fucking shit. Okay,
a lot of inconsistencies.
Really shit. Weird. And then when the movies came out, amazing, right?
Amazing.
Like, Broly,
fucking
But the issue is just the anime. They're just fucking behind. Like, and then most importantly, like, I haven't seen all the manga for, like, I'd rather watch things in the anime first, and then if I'm like trying to scale things, or do a video, then I'll go to the manga and whatnot, because that is the original source, But like fucking. But like for like my entertainment value or for my own enjoyment, I'd rather wait to watch it in the anime. That's typically what I do, But it sucks because they're just so fucking behind, man. And then most importantly, what's it called? Like, again, that's what I was saying. Like, haven't read out and seen all of that. So, like, honestly, it's up to you, Jay. Like, those stories that you have read and seen, do you think they're Dragon Ball Z goated level, or no? Like, they're good, but it's not the same as the OG era? Because basically what I'm getting at is Dragon Ball Z was fucking incredible, man. It didn't miss. Every arc was peak, fucking peak, every bro. Arc. Like, so like that, and I want that feeling back. I want the Dragon Ball Z fire peak or like energy back. You know what I mean? Like, so so the mangas that have come out so far, and when they eventually animate it, do you think it can be as good as Dragon Ball Z, or no? We're gonna have to wait on the other stories.
I think as far as like consistency of the amount of aura that was like fucking protruding from Z, I don't think it has that.
Damn,
I think there's some very high peaks. Yeah. There's some high peaks, but consistent, probably not. The most potential, the Moro arc was pretty fire. That hasn't been animated yet.
Okay.
That might have the most potential so far as what the Super manga has provided. Yeah. But yeah, I do agree. Z was more consistently peak than Super. Yeah. Super has certainly had more consistency, especially the anime. Again, until the Tournament of Power. There's certainly more inconsistencies, power scaling wise, storytelling wise. I do think Z is still the better product.
Yeah.
I just hope that at least we get some more consistency, and I hope maybe the anime will bring justice to
the movies. Didn't miss with Z either. They were peak.
Yeah, I agree. Broly was fire.
A savage, a fucking savage.
He was a fucking savage. The amount of aura he was fucking protruding from his fucking pores is insane. That guy's a monster.
The Incredible Hulk, but of Dragon Ball.
Facts. I remember I was 14 when it ended. When I was in high school, dudes were waiting for the Moro arc. We still, bro, and we're still waiting, which is crazy work.
Like, dude, like, fucking 10 years, and that's what I'm saying. Like, and it's unacceptable because, like, when Naruto is a perfect example. They were so on point with the anime production and the releases and whatnot. They even caught up to the manga. And so we had to wait until the manga came with another chapter, and then we could get the animated episode. Like, that's how much on point they were. They caught up.
That's peak
you know what I mean?
scheduling.
Like, and then even with other animes, like the other older, like anime production back then was just on fucking point. It was good. Now it's just like, what the fuck is happening? I don't get it.
More red tape. I don't know. It seems like
literally.
Yeah, there's so much more like a red tape or whatever the fuck it is. Whether it's time to make the anime because animation is more complex, or the red tape from production companies.
Yeah, and Jay, there's no excuse because Invincible, they've been really fast too. Like they've been really fast for like for each arc. Yeah, they've been going, and they're about to come out with another thing within like just
in March.
Yeah, like they've been on it. So even as of now, there's still not even no excuse. Like it's just like what the fuck is going on?
Strange.
Yeah,
and like Dragon Ball, the amount of money they probably left on the table because they weren't scheduling. I mean, we've been waiting a decade at this point for fucking new anime. It's very, very strange. There's probably more red tape that we're not aware of, which is very unfortunate because it just leaves a lot of money on the table for every party involved.
Yeah. Here's the question, Jay. Here's the real question then.
Yeah.
This is what the begs then. So like with how everything's going and the whole fucking night or whatever, do you think they should just have their final conclusion arc then? Like yeah, I know it left off with the whole Black Frieza thing, but do you think like they should just do one last arc? And then just end it there because, like, at this rate, bro, like, I don't know, like, why continue Dragon Ball then, right? You know, like, just let it end, let it end with its glory, you know?
Like, yeah, I actually wouldn't mind it, especially with the passing of the manga god himself.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
If anything, they could do like I guess a sequel. I guess Super was a sequel of Dragon Ball Z, but maybe they could change the concept and
do different main character, not Goku anymore, you know, or something.
Yeah, like a Boruto type sequel. Yeah, like a Boruto type.
Like
sequel.
that, I'd be cool with.
I wouldn't mind that at all.
Yeah. Like don't tarnish the OG. You know what I mean? Like because at this point, it's like that's what they're starting to do, and it's like, dude, like what are we doing? Like you're making everyone wait so long for the anime. Like, you know, then the stories, like, apparently they're not hitting the same level of Dragon Ball Z, then what's the fucking point? Like, that, like, imagine an example, guys. Imagine Naruto, right? Amazing, right? And then Shippuden comes out and it's fucking ass. You know, or mid, you know what I mean? Or, like, you know, and you're waiting for, like, what the fuck? You know what I mean?
Tarnishing the legacy.
Yeah, like, Shippuden didn't do that. They kept the same energy. If anything, it was arguably even better. Some people thought it was even way better, you know? Better. Like, so, like I don't. There's no excuse. There's literally no excuse. And like in Dragon Ball, I don't count Dragon Ball because that was its own goated like element. It was mainly mixed martial arts oriented. It was different, right? You know, it was comedy and mixed martial arts. Dragon Ball Z got into the power scaling elements of things, right? And started and then just doing like just so much peak shit. It was that's where it really kicked off.
Grandfather,
you know?
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically the grandfather of power scaling.
Yeah.
Honestly.
You know what I mean?
Power levels were introduced. The idea of who's more powerful than the other.
Exactly.
Really studied.
Transformations, you know, like
transformations.
Fucking...
Toriyama was like, arguably the grandfather, obviously the grandfather of manga, but you could also argue the grandfather, even without him even trying, of power scaling.
Yeah.
Without even trying, as he was.
And
I think his successor,
man. You know, like.
Yeah, his successor, Toyotaru, which he handpicked because he believes he has a similar style himself.
Yeah,
I do think a sequel would be fine. I think that'll be fine. I think
like do a new thing, like Gohan
or something, like someone like that. Obviously, it's hard. You know, Boruto had the same uphill climb. You know, people weren't exactly open to Boruto. Obviously, Kishimoto's still involved, but he's not.
Yeah,
thank God. Knock on wood, but. You know, it's hard to start a sequel and gain
success. But here's the thing with Boruto. Boruto, like overall, like, did it keep the same energy? No, right? The entire time, no. Like, it was there was definitely concerns. Like, there was definitely like, what the fuck, you know, blah blah. And I'm speaking for the anime, by the way, guys. Like, if it were to say manga, then no, it was hitting. It wasn't missing. Like, the manga has done an incredible fucking job of Boruto. An amazing fucking
especially
job.
now.
Yeah, did amazing. But yeah, with the anime though, it was pretty rough. You know, with certain things. Then there was really great things, right? And then when it got to the manga points, it was fucking amazing. Like it was like They were bringing the same energy with Naruto, but just in its own different way, and it was cool,
Stakes
right?
are
It was,
high.
yeah, like
Stakes are high. Yeah.
stakes were high, but they were doing it right. And then and obviously,
Facts,
like,
yeah.
it's to the point, like, is it better than Naruto? And like, overall, I would still say no, right?
Probably not.
But
Yeah.
it was good though, right? It was really fucking good, dude. You
Definitely
know,
engaging.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely engaging, really cool. You know, in just the direction, like, again, they're doing a great fucking job because, you know, like, basically imagine like Goku, right? Like, you see everything with Dragon Ball Z, right? In Dragon Ball, and then instead of Super, like, they changed it, right? Where it's not no longer Goku as the main character. It's like a different thing, right? Like similar to Boruto. It's someone else, whether if it's his son, whatever the fuck it is, but someone else now takes the MC role. Okay, better yet, actually make it Vegeta's kid. Make it fucking Vegeta's kid be the main, you know, the next MC or something. That'd be dope. Give him some
Yeah.
love for once,
That'd
you
be
know.
fire. Yeah.
Fuck Goku's family line, actually. Matter of fact, so do that. Okay, bring him. And you want to know, what'd be fucking dope? Like, imagine we get like a Goku, but like, instead of him just being like stupid and funny, and but with so much power, or whatever. Like, he's actually like a prodigy, right? Like, he's basically Goku, but
Yeah.
like a genius. Like, and he's really like, imagine some like Itachi level, like, fucking coldness or
IQ.
aura. You know what I mean? Yeah,
Yeah.
and then some like Minato intelligence, but like as a DBZ character. That'd be fucking awesome.
That'd be
bro.
fire.
You know what I
That'd
mean?
be fire.
Because look at Boruto. Like,
Yeah.
Boruto, they basically brought Boruto as MC, and he's literally Minato as the main character. Basically, he's basically
Facts.
Minato as the main
Basically
character,
Minato.
but along with multiple like characteristics that we've seen as well, like the scar Kakashi, right, on his face, his ninja way, and him being the Shadow Kage Sasuke, right? You know what I mean? Then you have like all the jutsus and abilities that are literally like Sasuke, right? Which is pretty cool, right? But yet he also has the abilities of Naruto. So like, again, imagine like Vegeta, like, kid, but like he's super cold, super intelligent, right? You know, and then he also has like a Kamehameha, but he also could do like a Gallic gun too. Like, there's just so much shit they could do, right? You know,
much potential.
so much
Yeah.
potential.
Yeah.
But they're not doing that. They're not going the right direction. If they go a similar realm of Boruto, the way that's going, it'd be fucking peak. It really would. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So,
And-
yeah.
In a way, Goten should have been that. When he was a kid, Gohan's little brother, he went Super Saiyan like fucking 6.
Yeah.
And after that, that was his peak aura. Ever since then, he's been very lackluster. But that guy had potential. He still does. There's been a lot of storytelling on him on Trunks in their teenage years.
Yeah.
They're more gag characters currently, but who knows what Toyotaro wants to do with them? There's potential there. They're still young.
And also,
Perhaps
fuck
they
that
do
stupid
become
ass
old.
purple hair. Make the fucking hair
Yeah.
fucking black and make it look similar to Vegeta. Like, I don't like that shit.
Yeah.
Like, how many damn trunks
Yeah,
are we gonna
that's-
see? Like, a fucking
exactly.
damn. You know?
Black Frieza and Cellmax were kind of lame in my opinion. Moro was the first DB villain in a while that I actually liked. That's fair. Minus Broly, of course. I remember GT hyping the crap out of Mad Jube, only for him to get immediately bodied by Broly. GT is interesting.
GT
I
was
wish Toei,
interesting. Yeah.
yeah, I wish Toei didn't get the rights to DB. They fucked up both DBS and One Piece for a long time. Hopefully, with Studio One Piece will look so much better. Yeah, it's a lot of red tape when it comes to those kind of companies. Toriyama is the goat, bro. I don't know how they continue without him. I don't know. I don't know either,
Here's
bro. Toriyama
here's
is the
another
GOAT.
thing too. Like, here's another example too. Like, Jay, like Bleach, they're doing a great job too. They continued the story. They went further on. They kept Ichigo as MC too. You know what I mean? That's the thing. They kept
Yeah.
him,
They
and it's been
killed it
great.
with
They're
anime.
killing it.
Killed it.
Yeah, like, so it's
Yeah,
like, what
killed
the
it.
fuck happened to the fucking Super? Like, or I don't
Yeah.
get it.
And what's crazy is Bleach is an example of, especially the anime being revitalized. I believe the author with the anime, he's telling the story now the way he wanted to tell it back then. But I think back then he was sick, he was being rushed. So that's actually an example of the anime being even better. Like, he's actually able to give what he wanted to give with the manga originally. Now that the anime is giving him that chance, so that's a fucking W right there. That's a fucking W. Shout out to Kubo, the author. He's a fucking stud. But they've killed it. I mean, Blood Wars, 1,000 Year Blood War is fucking fire. I mean, this straight up. Aizen's a fucking dog. Ichigo, fucking Ewok's a monster. It's fire.
Yeah, it just
And I
goes
can't
to show
wait
there's
for
no
all of it.
excuses, right? Like, even if you do
Yeah, no
keep the
excuses.
MC, like, you could still be in your fucking A game and you can make it peak. Like, so again, like, it's like, what's
Facts.
happening? So like, it's to the point
Yeah.
where if they continue just to have mid shit or bad shit, let it go. Don't tarnish it, right? Let it go and then do a new thing, but it still ties with it, right? Like, again, what Boruto's
Yeah.
doing. So, and that's the issue, man. Like, and
Facts.
then like JJK, that was a
Yeah.
new thing that came out. Look how fucking great that was. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of great things that have happened over time. My Hero Academia too, if you count that. Like, it's a lot of good shit. So like, there's no excuse, man. Like
Yeah.
they got to figure
No
it
excuse
out.
at
They
all.
got to.
Yeah.
Especially
They gotta figure all
especially
that
in
shit out.
respect for Toriyama, man. He don't deserve that.
Yeah. Nah, he's the manga god. I think JD Vance will be nominee in 2028. I think JD Vance, aside from Trump, is by far the most known Republican oriented, I guess, person of government in the United States. So yeah, I do think he will for sure be, as of now, he will be the nominee in 2028 for sure. The way the series of events unfolded for Trump's campaign and all the things that happened, all the shit that's happened, him almost getting shot and fucking, all the media coverage and just everything that's transpired. JD Vance is by far the most well known and well received Republican political figure in today's government. So yeah, he probably will be the nominee in 2028. And I do think, as of now, he has a very good shot of winning. Very, very good shot. Um, it's a bigger question is who would be the Democratic nominee. That's who I'm curious to see. Biden's obviously not going to be it. He's much too old. Harris her campaign was a shit show. She lacks the articulation to really express her thoughts. I think that was her real flaw. You could see that when she would be, on large profile platforms, she would need a teleprompter. She would need to be coached. She didn't have the ability to articulate the way she should have been. So she couldn't express her ideas very well. Like for example, Joe fucking the JRE show, Joe Rogan actually offered Harris to come on. He even said, I don't give a fuck if she's Democrat. I don't give a care if you're Republican. I just want to have a conversation with you. So I invited Kamala Harris on, but she didn't want to come on. She didn't want to come on. Um, I think they gave Rogan terms that he didn't agree to, like it was going to be edited and stuff. He's like, no, I want to have a raw conversation with you where you can be a fucking person. Like, I want to see your policies, who you are, what you're about, what your values are. And honestly, I think the reason
Yeah,
she
people
didn't
are
come
always
on
scared for
is because,
transparency, man. Always
yeah, I think
scared.
she
Always.
lacks she lacks the ability to really express policy and express her viewpoints on it. And I think that was her fatal flaw. I think that's why she lost the election, if I'm being honest. If I'm being truly honest. Um, who will be the Democratic nominee in 2028? Yeah, that's the question. I don't even know, man. It'd have to be some hotshot Democratic figure. I can't at the top of my head. I do not know. Maybe a character like Alexander Cortez. I think she'd lose, but she's well known in government. Someone like that. Someone would have to come out of the woodworks, and I think the Democrats' strength is when done right. Anyway, they have a real hold on the youth because of the liberalism, the progressiveness. Our generation, for example, most of them, and I think the number's starting to dwindle. If I'm being honest, they are into more socialist constructs. They're into more equality and free education, free healthcare, things of that nature. So if they can appeal to the youth, similar to how Biden did, I believe in 2020, then they can have a good shot at winning. I'd rather get Thomas Macy, but we'll unfortunately get JD Vance, who's a Peter Thiel puppet. Yeah, Thomas Macy is promising as well. A lot of peeps think Newsom will be I forgot about Newsom. That's right. Newsom he might be the Democratic nominee. That's right. Problem is that Kelly has a lot of problems that fell ultimately at his feet. That's a good one. I forgot about Newsom. Yes, the current governor of California. He is the governor of the biggest state in the country, population wise. He is very well known because of that. But yeah, like you said, there's a lot of critics when it comes to Newsom due to the failures of California. Obviously, the immigration problem, obviously, large amounts of the population moving to other states that are more red. That's been a trend in California as well. There's just a plethora of problems, the cost of living in major cities as well. major problem, and that will put basically blemishes on Newsom from the eyes of the people, from the Midwest where all the swing states are at. So I do agree he could be a Democratic nominee, but I do agree with you that there's a lot of blemishes on his record because of how California has turned out. So I agree with you there. Um, JB Pritzker is Illinois governor. I heard he could be the nominee. I think they'll try to push Gavin. I agree. I actually do think they'll try to push Gavin. Big name. He's governor of already a very large state in the United States, population wise. I forgot about Newsom. I do think it'd probably be him. It'd probably be him. He's the most well known, and um, familiarity is a powerful tool in elections, because you could theoretically have a hell of a nominee, hell of a mind, but no one knows who he or she is. It doesn't matter. They're just not going to vote for that person. They don't know enough about them. They don't have any emotional attachment. They don't know about their policies. So familiarity is huge in elections. Unfortunately, when it comes to Democratic type elections, it is a popularity contest to an extent. It sucks to say that. It's not always based on merit, as we've seen historically, but that's the case. That is the case, and Newsom is well known. Do I think he would be a good president? Absolutely not, in my opinion, based off his track record in California. But I do think there's a large percent chance that he is the Democratic nominee in 2028. I do see a real possibility of Newsom versus Vance in 2028 for sure. But yeah, the California
it makes
wonder
sense.
is
Like he's like his right
makes
handed
a lot of
man.
sense.
And think of it this way: it's kind of like Hashram and Toby Rama. You know what I mean? Like, and then who became the second Okage? Right, Toby Rama. Like
Exactly. He
and,
literally the Toby Rama. Yeah.
and then you had Hiruzen, right? Who was like under them, and there you go, right? So
Yeah, Newsom would be like fucking. I wouldn't say Donzo, but
no, like think of it this: like if you had
fucking
someone with Obama, right? Which Obama was very, very popular with certain percentage
very
of people,
articulate.
yeah, and whatnot, and the whole
Yeah.
nine. Like Obama was one of the big players out there. If he had like someone close into it, same thing. I know damn well that guy, especially if it's a guy, right? If it's a woman, no. Unfortunately, women just they don't have the same success rate as men because XYZ things. It's a whole other can of worm. But yeah, if you're a dude politically wise and for history and whatnot, you have the best chance to win it. What's it called? And then there you go, right? It's a done deal. Now I will say this though, like I am intrigued on the candidates that are eventually going to come up. I also am intrigued if Kamala Harris is actually going to try to do it again, which I think she should.
It'd be gutsy if she tried.
Yeah, it'd be gutsy. Yeah, I do think she should because here's my whole fucking thing. Regardless of whatever the fuck you think of her or whatever, blah, blah, it would be nice to have a fucking Tsunade in IRL, right? Just to get some amount of objective, freaking, just information, right, from it, like observations, statistics, you name it, the whole nine, and then obviously, then you're gonna have the subjectiveness of it, where it becomes interpretation territory, blah blah, whatever. People lose their minds, but but overall, I do want something of it because it'd be interesting, right, to observe and speculate between and
first
so on
time
and
in
so
history
forth.
for sure.
Yeah, and that too, it'd be a history thing, it'd be a first time, so and legitimately, I think to be fair, there was some other chick that took rain or something because something had whatever, blah blah, but that doesn't really count. You know what I mean? I don't count that shit.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, an official, a woman that actually wins the election. Okay, that'd be pretty cool. Just to see and whatever, and then there you go, right? And at the end of the day, I'm gonna be real with you guys. If Donald Trump is not able to start fucking World War III and whatnot, or any something super crazy, you're not gonna convince me a woman would somehow fucking cause that. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean?
They're inherently they're less they're less confrontational, less aggressive.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah, fears people have always had. And it's dude, no, we've had some aggressive ass presidents. Trump, he is very aggressive. He don't give a fuck. Okay,
Trump is very. What I do like about him, I don't know, and I think his peak aura moment was when he almost got shot. When he stood up again, was chanting "fight." That just showed his drive, and I think that
He's ready.
that lifted up
Uh,
America. Like America, it stood
Yeah,
up
he's
with
ready for the
him.
smoke.
Honestly,
Bro, currently right now
yeah,
he's fucking around with people like I forgot who it was
yeah.
directly, but
He
he has like some military navy ships like set up, and he's like blocking a certain thing or whatever, and they're like, oh, you're doing a blockade, blah blah, like this is an act of war and yada yada, and then he's like, no, I'm not, blah. He's like using some semantical bullshit, explanation. He knows what he's doing, but he's basically saying some
yeah,
political semantic
he's
explanation.
tactical.
He's tactical, where he's like, oh no,
Yeah,
technically it's not, blah blah, and I'm like on paper, yeah, it looks like technically no. Like you can perceive it as that, but no. So like he's basically baiting them, right? So this way he has,
facts.
and what he's doing is like he's fucking them heavily financially because like that's somehow one of like their most main biggest profit mechanisms they do with that particular country. So it's really hurting them
Yeah,
financially right now. And then any oil ships that have tried, they've been immediately apprehended and contained due to politic laws or whatever, blah blah. But he's able to technically get away with it because of political law, right? Um,
yeah.
so like, and
With a
then like, and then
superpower.
everything you say, yeah,
Yeah,
whatever. So like, again, like he's doing some ballsy shit, which could be the start, of World War III and the whole domino effect, whatever. And he just does not care. Like he does, and he gets when he sets his mind to something, he's gonna fucking do it. Whether if it's right or
yeah.
wrong, or whether or not if you agree with it.
Right. Yeah.
So
He
yeah,
makes he makes
so
this.
again, if we
Yeah,
were to get a woman
exactly.
president, like sure, I'm not denying that there's not assertive woman out there. I'm not denying that there's not, arrogant or egotistical woman out there. Any human being is capable of those personalities and qualities, right? If anything, that's the fucking problem
Yeah, exactly.
nowadays of why there's so many issues is because, you can't have
Dating
both of
culture.
those factors. Yeah, the dating culture.
Yeah, it's a
You
fucking
have a fucking
mess.
female that's arrogant and egotistical, then you have a dude that's arrogant and egotistical, and that never fucking works. You can't have two assertive
Yep.
fucking people in a relationship. It is so
Cancel each
rare for
other
that
out.
to work. Yeah,
Yeah,
because that requires a
exactly.
sense of maturity, of sense of emotional intelligence, the whole fucking nine, and very, very rare that works out. Typically, either you end up arrested or
Facts.
you just end up broken or divorced, whatever the fucking case may be. Either way, part
Yeah,
being said is
non-functional.
even if that's the case, if it's assertive, again, we've had extremely assertive men as president and very aggressive. We've had presidents back then where literally they did shit to where things actually happened. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah,
So like again,
facts.
like and the world is still here, right? The U.S. is still here. So like everybody has this fear of like, oh my god, because we have nukes and blah blah whatever. No, I don't want to hear that shit. You know what I mean, so like,
It's very
yeah,
unlikely.
like now, could you argue like things could go to shit, whether if it's financial
It's
or for our
possible.
country
Yeah, it's
or
possible.
for the world or whatever? Sure, you do you. You make your arguments, whatever. But to say it's going to be an apocalypse, because we get a no, come
Yeah,
on, come
very, very
on.
unlikely.
If
That's
anything, our
horrible.
country probably won't even be taken serious if we're being real. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
if
it's
anything,
very unlikely.
but
Yeah, there's too many conflicting interests in humanity, even within our own country, let alone the world, to
yeah,
lead to global extinction. It had to. Even fucking Kim Jong Un fucking checked himself when Trump told him, "Bitch, I'll push the red button. I'll
yeah,
push the big red button if you don't shut your ass up." And we all thought Kim Jong Un was a fucking psycho, and he shut his mouth since.
yep,
So it's very unlikely that something of that magnitude would take place.
no,
Honestly, I think Republicans will lose these upcoming midterms. How about you, Jay? Here's the thing when it comes to elections. So humans inevitably have recency bias,
yeah,
and of course, when it comes to the president, when it comes to government, when it comes to Congress, etc., we're going to analyze everything they've done right and everything they've done wrong. And when it comes to the
yep,
average American, which I do believe is more of a centrist, I think most Americans aren't extremists,
yeah, that is
politically
true.
speaking.
Yeah,
I, th- I think they will look at the mistakes that current governmental leaders have made, and because of that, they'll lean towards the other side, right? Maybe the other side is expressing uh, things that the current leaders are lacking, so they'll vote for them. And I think that's what has happened historically. That's why you don't really have, for the most part, leaders that are elected every 4 years not last too long because of recency bias. I do think that's the case, and I don't think I do think the Republicans won't win the majority of the midterms. I just think that's the way humans function, the way historically political power has shifted. Um, so that's what I would say about that. Historically, the elected president party loses the subsequent midterms. If there's a Republican president, Democrats usually win the midterms and vice versa. Exactly, exactly. Yeah, exactly. What I was basically trying to say. That's just how historically the transition of power has taken place, and there's multiple reasons for that. Mostly recency bias. We're just critical. I mean, obviously, we should be critical of leaders, and we should have different leaders with different ideas and different philosophies and ideologies in there to test what works best. Right? There's no perfect system. As as we evolve, as time progresses, new problems arise. Humans evolve. Problems evolve as well. 200 years ago, uh, systemic, blatant racism existed. Today, it's other problems. For example, a big problem today would be the immigration problem, or
Yeah.
maybe the
Or
cartels
trans.
funding. Us,
like
yeah,
that's
like
always
all
talked
these
about. Yeah.
problems, and we need different minds and different ideologies for different problems. So that's why
Yep.
we like to test out different leaders. That's the beauty of democracy. Is it perfect? No.
No.
Do we always get it right?
There's
Absolutely
pros
not.
and
But
cons in everything, man. Everything.
yeah, I'll
Yeah.
tell you what, it's better than a monarchy. And there's a reason why George Washington, when they asked him, "Do you want to be king of the U.S.?" he said no. He's like, "No, fuck that," because the UK was that, and look where they are now.
Yeah.
We revolted against them because he basically said, "Yeah, maybe I'll be a good king, maybe my son will be a good king, but eventually there will be a tyrant. If the people aren't electing who's here, eventually there will be a tyrant because they'll know that their power it cannot be challenged. It's
Like I'll
unchallengeable,
say
and
this.
that goes to people's head.
Yeah, I'll say
So
this. Like the only time I would ever personally actually tolerate any like tyranny or tyrannical tendencies or whatever is if you can somehow convince me
yeah,
you're able to strictly do that to stop and confront evil itself. So meaning anyone that's trying to do murder, rape,
yeah,
any heinous or horrible acts, right? If you're like, shutting that shit down and you're doing certain things to where like to make sure that is preventable and cannot happen, then by all means go ahead. But we do not have the technology nor the resources to do that. It is literally fairy tale land. There's always going to be crime.
yeah. It's
There's always
fiction.
going to be, yeah, that's fiction. Like in fiction, that's possible. But that's because they have the
Yeah, of
technology and the
course. Yeah,
resources to do that shit, right? To make sure no crime is happening,
yeah,
whatever, blah, blah, right? But fucking in the IRL scheme of things, that's literally impossible. There's no way you can do that. There's always going to be crime. There's always going to be evil or whatever, and so on and so forth. So with that being said, what's the fucking point? Why are you being a tyrant and having such crazy enforcement or whatever when you still have the same issues if you weren't a tyrant, right? You know what I mean? Like, what are you actually
yeah,
gaining? And that's where my problem is personally with it, and instead what you get is bad tyrants, like actual like what you don't want as a tyrant, where like they're controlling what you say, what you do, blah blah blah, sensitive sallies, they have the classes where like people, you have like the poor class where they can only do whatever, and then you have this class where they can do whatever the fuck they want, right? Because this tyrant says so. Like you have all this bullshit, all these problems, and you have examples of that. You have North Korea, you have Russia, you have a whole
yep.
bunch of fucking
Dictators.
countries, dictators, and they do some heinous shit, It's some crazy shit. So like overall, like it just, that's why personally it doesn't make any logical sense to me whatsoever, because you're literally forcing people to be miserable, to not have any sense of freedom, just so what, you can feel better for yourself, like you're happy
Yeah,
at least, but not your people. You know what I mean? And you want to know what that
yeah,
causes too? Guess what that causes? Here's the biggest con: division, revolting
yep.
against. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
revolution. Like that's the biggest
exactly,
enabler for
exactly.
that. You're gonna have a divide. You have people that sure they fuck with it. Then you're gonna have people that do not fuck with that shit. I'll give a fiction example. You have Star Wars, Darth Sidious and Darth Vader, the Empire. There is people that, oh yeah, this is fun. Then there is a whole bunch of people like, nope, fuck this, democracy, freedom, right? You know what I mean? So
Yeah, the rebels.
the
Yeah,
rebels. Exactly. Like you're always gonna have some type of retaliating force or factor, right? And things like that. So again, like
yeah,
it inherently does not work. It can only work if you actually have a way to control it. And I'll give an example. Like this again, this is not realistic, but like Injustice, Superman, he basically shut down everything, right? Like he fucking bodied every military, whatever. He told him, "You guys do it. You
yeah,
guys do anything, blah blah. Then I'm fucking all this shit up, and you're losing your toys, basically, right?" He got rid of all the
yeah,
nukes. Again, this is Superman, right? So it's possible, right? And then he also used Mr. Terrific's technology to survey and monitor everything that everyone's doing. to make sure no fucking crime is
world.
happening. So he knew what you
Yeah.
were doing at all times, basically, unless you were Batman, okay? You know, so
Yeah.
like, and again, like, you could argue morally, is that obviously okay or not, or you can apply whatever philosophy, argument, whatever, blah blah. But here's the thing: it did have results, though. There was no crime. The streets were actually quiet for once. Nobody was dying. Nobody was getting their shit stolen. Nobody's getting hurt. You know what I mean? Like, he actually got results. Yeah, it sucks because you don't really have privacy. You know what I mean? And so on and so forth. But there you go, right? You know, and everything was great. But then you want to know what happened? That power got to his head. He got emotional. And he started fucking executing people. God forbid, because they looked at him the wrong way or brought up the Joker, you know, or fucking littered on the ground or some bullshit, you know, like. So again, like, it gets to a point where, like, is it worth it, right? I mean, and where we're currently at, and with all the examples in the other countries we have, I think that exemplifies and shows that it does not work, right? And democracy definitely is the way to go, even though that itself has pros and cons. But at least the people are happy and they have the freedom to choose what they want, right? That's the biggest thing, you know? So
it comes down to freedom, and it comes down to keeping as much percentage of the masses satisfied as possible.
Yeah.
When it comes to monarchies and, you know, all-powerful leaders, eventually it will lead to disdain and resentment, because there's going to be people that have the ability to critically think. They're going to realize this guy is in this position solely because of, you know, his bloodline, not because of merit, not because he's earned it. It's not well earned. And, you know, humans are inherently tribal beings.
Yeah.
Now, even of course, in our current Western civilization, there is tribalism everywhere, but it's not life or death, right? We have social media echo chambers. We have maybe the liberals hating the Republicans and they yell at each other, but that's a much better alternative than hundreds of years ago when tribes would fucking slaughter each other with knives, spears, and fucking kill each other because they didn't agree or they wanted to survive and beat out the other tribe. So essentially, with our system, yes, there's tribalism, yes, there's conflict, but it's a much better alternative and a much safer and peaceful version of it than it was 1,000 years ago, because we have checks and balances. We have, of course, the president. He's not all powerful. We have Congress. They're not all powerful. We have the Supreme Court. They're not all powerful. They balance each other out respectively. And the way society is built, it's very hierarchical. It's very
to give everybody a fair shot.
It's the fairest way to go.
It's to give everybody a fair shot and to get to the point that you want to allow yourself to get to, right? Everybody has a fair shot to become rich or successful and have a chance and to be a part of whatever class you want. If you want to be poor for the rest of your life, you can do that. If you want to be middle class for the rest of your life, you can do that. If you want to somehow end up rich, that is possible. Is it easy? No, but it's at least possible. No. That's not possible if you're in a fucking dictatorship type society. You know what I mean? Because they control who goes up in that class and who doesn't, you know?
Yeah, so that's why socialist concepts in theory sound great. You know, equal outcome sounds great, but on paper it doesn't work because humans are inherently competitive. They're inherently hierarchical, and when you limit that,
and emotional, especially like imagine doing doing work and you're doing 10 times better than this motherfucker, right? Like you're fucking slamming his shit, like statistically or numbers wise. Like let's say you're the best in the region, and you're fucking, you know, for your job or whatever, and this guy is, you know, just fucking shit, but yet you get paid the same. What? How is that fair? You know, like
it's equal outcome, but unfair compensation. Like, yeah, you have the same outcome, but the effort that you're putting in is not equal.
Everybody can be an NFL player. Yeah, it's fair, right? Just let them do it because they want to. You know what I mean? Like that. No,
it's unrealistic.
Nobody wants to watch a bunch of bums. That sounds harsh, but I'm just being real. Instead, we want to see the best of the best perform at a crazy high peak athletic level. You know,
that's just the way humans function. It's the way society functions at its best. That's why historically, most communist, states fall, or at least have problems. While conversely, somewhere like the U.S. or Canada, Canada has its issues due to socialism, but places.
Here's another issue, Jay. You think a chick would want to be with a fucking ugly ass fat bitch? Like, imagine that. Like, If a guy wants, I guess every guy gets, this really gorgeous, beautiful woman or like average woman, even if you're fucking hideous or have shit hygiene, but nah, we all deserve it, Like, okay, here you go. What the fuck? No. You know what I mean? We get to choose who we want to pursue, right? You know what I mean? We get to do it based upon what fits our needs and likes and so on and so forth, you name it, Like, again, like, there's just certain scenarios and situations or aspects where that just does not work. That's not fair to the other person,
Yeah, the truth is, whether
That's the irony.
or
Like they do it for equity,
yeah,
but yet it's not fair. Like
yeah, it's really not. It's counterproductive, and the truth is, humans are inherently competitive from every aspect of life, whether it's intelligence,
yeah.
strength, speed, trying to gain a girl or a
You're
guy
always gonna
over
want
other
someone to
people.
want more. They're greedy too.
Yeah,
Like
we're merit based biologically. We cannot avoid our nature. So if we don't you know, conform to that societally, it leads to problems, and we've seen that throughout human history. It just doesn't work in practice. It might sound great, it might sound like a fucking utopia, but it's not the way the world works in
so.
reality.
Instead, you need a
Um,
balance of things. You do need a certain level of enforcement and government, activity and whatnot,
yeah,
but also freedom and the people itself as a separate entity. You name it, whatever. Because overall, you're satisfying the pros and cons of both spectrums, so it works
yeah,
inevitably. It just works. So,
yeah. In an imperfect world, you
and the
need
moment the
balance.
government steps out of line, what do you know? It's set up in the structure and the system to where we can fight back and we can do whatever, blah,
The
blah.
people,
The people, right? Because
yeah,
we're on the same playing field. God forbid it's the other way around where the people are fucking, whatever, this and this and that. What do you know? The government have resources. They can deal with it. Boom. Problem solved.
yeah,
So again, like,
yeah.
it's fair game. It really
Fair
is.
game, yeah. And humans are complex creatures. We're imperfect beings, and that leads to complex problems. It leads to complex problem solving. But yeah, folks, we've been at it for about 2 hours. W stream, W questions. Again, we
Yes,
do enjoy
sir.
the political discussions as well. Next week, expect to change my mind. It should be fire. We'll test it out. If people come in regularly, it'll probably be a full stream. If not, we'll probably shift to this again, like a regular stream. I'll prepare accordingly for both.
Yeah.
Um, but hopefully people come in, challenge our viewpoint. Again, it's an informal debate. Obviously, we're not going to come in fucking not prepared at all. But again, we're not. It's not going to be like a full debate for each person that comes in. It'll be what we deem is
Yeah.
appropriate.
And
This should
anyone's
be
welcome,
fun.
by the way. Haters,
Anyone's
lovers,
welcome.
fans,
Haters,
alt
yeah,
accounts, whatever the fuck.
everybody,
By all means, you can
yeah.
use
As
the
long
voice changer for all I fucking care. You're
facts.
welcome.
Yeah, so anything you want to do, feel free. Obviously, you can't troll or try to get us banned because you'll
Yeah.
never be allowed again. But besides that, free game as far as you challenging our viewpoints, however you want to do that, feel free. But we hope you guys enjoyed. We will, again, this year we're really rolling into 2026 with consistency. Expect a video from us in about a week or so, where we're collabing together. It should be a fire topic. Again, check out my new video, Ishiki versus Jura. See if you guys enjoy it.
Sheesh.
If you guys have any recommendations or questions, whatever it may be, feel free to leave in the comments on Discord, wherever. We can answer them in the next stream. But yeah, folks, hope you guys had a good holidays. I hope you guys
Yeah.
had a good beginning of
Stay
the year.
safe,
And
man. I've been hearing a lot of crazy shit on New
yeah,
Year's Eve and the
facts.
next day of the first day of
Yeah,
20 has been,
facts.
so stay safe, guys. Don't be
Yeah,
stupid.
stay saw folks. Stay safe, folks. Make smart decisions, and we'll see you next time, folks. God bless.
See ya.
All right, W stream, W.